To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day. Yeah, yeah. Everything you need to know that you never knew, that you need to know. Like our perspective.
Hello. Here I was. I'm sneaking because I'm talking to my brother at the exact same time, and I'm tuning in to you guys. So tonight we're going to talk about a couple of things, and you know what? Here's the deal. I know that you guys, for the most part, know what season it is, and for those of you who don't, we'll chat about that. But what we're going to look at tonight is we're going to look at some things that are going on with CERN. We're going to look at a few other things that are happening in the atmosphere. I want to ask you guys to spell the word turmeric. Everybody put the word turmeric that's here in the chat. Just put the word turmeric in the chat. Spell it for me. Just don't look it up. Spell it to the best of your memory, to the best of your recollection. Now that I'm done doing that, I can look at y'all. Yeah, just spell it the best that you can. That's what I want to happen. Turmeric. Just put that in the old chatteroony. Okay. All right. Okay. 1. Okay, very good. 2. Okay, R. Jones. Vines Dresser. So Vines Dresser and Sandy, we are all in the same timeline. Hey, Mike, how's it going? Mike is on the same timeline with R. Jones. Betty R is on the same timeline with Sandy and I and Ronnie. Hello, Elite. How you doing, pretty girl? Okay, so we have a few people who are on the same timeline. What are you speaking of, Felicia? That ain't how I spell no more, y'all. Nope. It ain't spelled like we spell it. No more, Betty, Sandy, Ronnie. It's not spelled the same way. Vine Dressers Branch. Nope. Yep. There you go. There's Ronnie, Betty R. There is Sandy. Okay. There's Sandy. Let's see who else there is. Who else? Let's see. Let's go down the line. All right. So Mike Garver spells it with T-U-R. R. Jones is a T-U-R. Vicky is a T-E-R. Betty R is T-U-M. We can talk over here, can't we? It's amazing what goes on over there. Okay. Bright Eyes. Turmeric, always enjoy your content, Felicia. Okay, yes, we yes, we are. Ronnie, same thing. Okay. All right, so we are going to look at this evening a few different things that are really important. So they're very important that we're going to talk about. Some of these things you may have heard about, some you may not have heard about, but there has been another shift. There was a shift about a month or so ago, maybe a little less, when my sister and I were talking. And Sandy, just so you know, I can't even find that message anymore. I'm looking for the message. It is a curcumin, but it is it is spelled a little different. It is a curcumin. Yeah, it is. I have never passed the spelling test in my life. LOL, never. It wouldn't matter anyway because it's all spells and it's all wizardry, so it wouldn't really matter anyhow. I always say, Frank, the only way that they're able to change stuff is if they it was theirs from the beginning. That's what I always feel. Yeah. So are you present? Let me see. Let me make sure. Let me get you off of the actual speaker and put you into my ear. So we're not going to get a there you go. So I'm not going to get the echo. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
Yeah.
now? Okay, super duper. So how are you? First of all, let's just get into that. We're not just going to start the podcast without talking. How you doing?
I'm all right. Just took a little nap, man. Just I was off today, man, so I just got rejuvenated, man. Hit the gym kind of hard yesterday, man.
Okay.
Had to
Okay.
charge my battery. You know what I mean? But
All
other than that,
right.
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Clarita, how you doing? Yeah, I'm doing well. So are you into the whole CERN thing? Are you into any of that type of stuff? Are you into like that, you know, the the parting of the skies and all this crazy kooky stuff? Are you into any of that or no? Hey, Solemn Peace.
I'm knowing that they're doing it. It's like just like how you saying like with the spelling and the spell and the chanting and the cursing and all that type of stuff. I think that's what that is. With the certain thing,
Okay.
I think that's what they're trying to, they're trying to bring about. And also too, I don't know, but I've heard too with the certain thing they could do like weather modification and stuff like that with that. So I don't know, but I know for sure that, or from what I, really knew about CERN that they've been trying to like open portals and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely what it is. Hello, how are you? It's good to see you. You can go ahead on finish eating. You grubbing up? What you got going on? You cook something? Or you brought a plate back with you?
No, no. I'm just getting in
No,
the house. I'm just getting in the house.
that's
What
good.
up?
Well,
What
take
up?
the time and eat. What you eating anyway? So
What
we
up,
can
BJ man?
vicariously live through you. What you having? What you eating?
I got some carrots beside me, and I had a slice of pizza. But
Oh, that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. Nice little slice of healthy pizza, as long as it's healthy, good pizza. Nothing wrong with that. Um, what do you guys? Let's break the ice first. What do you guys think about the whole $1, the $1 Wendy's hamburger that was going on all over the place? Did anybody see that for the next? I think what it is 4 days, King BJ.
yeah, McDonald's got a quarter pounders too.
So they're all pushing their meat.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Is this that sell meat?
I don't know, but then again, they don't have to tell you what it is anymore. Remember, according to the FDA, at the top of the year, they removed that whole thing where it's just meat because they've when you change the classification of something enough, or you change the name of something enough, to me, it is what it is. They just think that hey, it's what it is. It's what we want to call it, and we want to call it meat. So guess what? It is meat. Soylent Greenest people. Soylent Greenest people. That's how they feel. Whatever it is, it is. I like to compare us as far, because I was sitting here and those people were like, "What do you mean various topics on the thumbnail or on the title or whatever?" I consider us like the Seinfeld of YouTube, because we just So whatever topics we feel like chatting about tonight, you guys can throw some topics out there too. It's just time for us to spend together and, to really grind our wheels at some things. Bright Eyes says, "Don't eat the burgers. National Burger Day is Monday," Ronnie Man says. And is right. Absolutely. That comes from our sister, R. Jones. What do you think about the fact that it's $1? Not to mention the fact that there's also another sandwich.
McDonald's is 50 cents.
Theirs is 50 cents. Okay, but what about the venison burger? Did you hear about Arby's having a venison? It has venison. It has now. I don't know how they did this. They've got venison. What is it? It's not buffalo. What is the other name for buffalo? Bison. It's like a venison, bison, and beef burger, something like that. I call it "How in the heck would you know burger?" Because you wouldn't know what it is.
Even though I used to like deer meat, but
I still like it as well. It's just the fact that there's no way you're going to tell me that a chain company is going to be able to kill it, collect it, and do it the way that it's supposed to be, and you want me to believe that's real. I don't even no, thank you. It's okay. Can you believe that? I love venison. I like deer meat. I don't have a problem with deer meat. If you guys can share this on your channel, you're welcome to. Don't have to worry about it. Just go ahead and hit the share button if you want to share it. You're welcome to share it. My permission to do so. Um, so tell me what you think about them having this. Oh wow, Bright Eye says Simpson shows burger eating zombie. We ought to look for that. I do want to talk about CERN though. So while you give a chat and tell us about what you have seen as it relates to this whole special deal that they're trying to pass by everybody, I'll go on ahead here and I will pull up the stories that we're going to do about CERN. Now, CERN is set to restart again next month. I don't know whether you know that or not, but the Large Hadron Collider, they're in those, I think it sits on 4 countries or 3 countries at least. It's set to start again. So that means we're going to have some more cattywampus things going. Yeah.
You know, I do got a topic we got to bring up though.
Okay,
2
let's
of
go.
them, matter of fact.
Come on.
2 of them.
Okay.
A lot of things been going on, but
what?
me and Frank have been talking about this a week, and then we were listening to a show today, and it's been coming up. You know, like I talked to you a couple of weeks ago about toll roads, but now they talking about smart cities and all this other stuff going on, right? Including with that thing with the MGM, which I actually saw that last week, but I didn't really pay attention to it. I'm like, just something at the MGM. I don't go to the casino anyways. I could care less. But that is a big step when you the Bellagio and all them places are shut down, because that's also, and then at the same time, that same week, you had banks closing, a lot of banks closed, and one of them closed like here, like a couple of days ago. Then Bank of America, I think one of them is closing in November. And so from like we got 5, 6 branches Richmond area closing probably alone, but I think it's Wells Fargo, Bank of America. And some of these are in college areas too at that. And areas where busy, a lot of people pass by. So yeah, but that thing at the MGM was actually concerning, because that showed you the daggone you can lock down a whole casino and you can get a third-party supplier to help you.
You saw how that happened. And you saw how it happened.
Yeah. They made sure to get their money though.
They made sure that they gave a phone call and said, yeah, my name is such and such, and I need assistance doing X, Y, or Z. Oh, really? Well, just hold on. Let me tap into something else with you too. I'm going to take this over because right now I'm using another browser. So I'm going to snatch this. I'm going to bring it over here, and I want you to look at this. Tell me if this is not, come on in and do what you want to do. Come on in and show us what you got. So look at this, folks, right there on the point with you, because I did a whole live stream about this the other day. And whether people know it or not, this was going on in the very month of August, and right at the end of that time frame. So going into September, just in time for September 11th, we had the whole, meltdown there, dealing with not only MGM specifically by name, but also Circus and several other, resorts that have everything to do with them, MGM, to include one of the places that I like to go to. And, I said this over on Headlines. I like to go out to Biloxi every now and again. Yeah. And in Biloxi, they've got the Beau Rivage. Well, wouldn't you know, it's owned by MGM as well. But in the month of August, DEF CON was held right there at an MGM property. Let's get into this and then we'll be right back. I'm going to give them the whole screen for this so that we can keep up with it. But I like for everybody to have the whole screen. So as if they were asking for it. You know what? Nobody can break into our system. Started back in 1992 by the Dark Tangent. DEF CON is the world's longest running and largest underground hacking conference. DEF CON is known for its intense focus on computer security and hacking, and it provides a forum for some of the brightest minds in the field to share their knowledge and collaborate on new projects. Hackers, corporate IT professionals, and 3-letter government agencies converge on Las Vegas every summer to absorb cutting-edge hacking research and test their skills in contests of hacking. And their contest of hacking might. Attending DEF CON is an experience unlike any other. You are immersed in a world of technology and innovation from the moment you arrive, and the atmosphere is electric with excitement and anticipation. Everywhere you look, you see people who are passionate about technology and eager to learn and share their knowledge. One of the most exciting things, excuse me, about DEF CON is the wide variety of available events and activities. Well, there's talks and presentations on various topics, from the latest exploits and vulnerabilities to cutting edge research in fields like cryptography and artificial intelligence. There are also numerous workshops and training sessions where attendees can learn new skills and techniques from some of the most experienced hackers in the world. Keep in mind what I just said. This was just a few weeks before what happened on September 11th. DEF CON comes right on the heels of Black Hat, a conference and trade show for cybersecurity professionals. While Black Hat feels more like a traditional Vegas trade show, DEF CON is anything but. How is DEF CON different from other conventions? Well, first, DEF CON is run by volunteers and has no corporate sponsorship. Second, there is no online registration. I wonder why. They're smart enough to know that if you do something by online means, it can be hacked. So even organizers really don't know who's attending. And when you arrive, everything is paid for with cash. They don't take credit cards. Is this just a setup or what? Most of these people attending really don't want a record of them attending. Everyone from your average everyday hacker to criminals and agents from government agencies like FBI, CIA, National Security Agency will attend. When you enter, you pay $280 in cash, and they hand you a generic badge. No ID is required for admittance. So you can be some weirdo just walking in off the streets, lollygagging, and having a good time. Okay, so this is what was going on just a couple of weeks before the collapse there with the cybersecurity issue in Las Vegas. The Las Vegas company, MGM themselves, were hosting this event at the Mandalay property. The Mandalay property belongs to them, right? Okay, so the Mandalay property is theirs. And this is what was going on just a couple of weeks before. Did you know that? Let me open this up. Let me take the full screen layout away. Did you know that? Did you know that, King BJ? Did you know that this was going on only a few weeks beforehand? Frank, did you know?
I heard about you talking about it the other day.
Well, no. I got this information from my best friend who actually lives there and my goddaughter who works in the hotel arena. She said, we just had the DEF CON event. I said, get out of here. She goes, no. I said, show me in writing. Show me in writing. She said, just look it up. It was known. And I looked it up, and lo and behold, here it is. The conference attracts many people, from seasoned security professionals to curious hobbyists to malicious hackers. Wait a minute, let me get this right. Think it not strange that these individuals were invited into the MGM Grand Hotel property, also known as the Mandalay Bay. So they were invited there, and not only were they invited there, they did not have to give their identification. They did not have to do any of that. All they had to do was just check in. Just check in. Check in and you're there. Right? Okay. So The conference attracts many people, all the way down to jerks looking to cause trouble, it says. As a result, it is important to be careful with your personal information and take precautions to protect your devices and data. Attendees are encouraged to use virtual. So now they wanted them to all use VPNs and other security tools to protect themselves from potential risk. DEF CON events and villages. In addition to the formal events, there are also many informal gatherings and social events. These range from impromptu hacking challenges. And how much would you like to wager that somebody said, well, we're pretty tight with the MGM, and I doubt very strongly if you could if you could ever even get into our system. Really? You think so? Well, yes, of course. Of course. I don't think you could ever get in here. I don't think you could ever get in. So they're talking about this here. These range from impromptu hacking challenges and capture the flag contest to parties and networking events. One of the most popular events is the Wall of Sheep, where attendees can watch in real time and as unsuspecting conference goers display their usernames and passwords on a giant screen. Let that sink in. They've had enough sense to name that the Wall of Sheep. Ham Radio Village at DEF CON. Ham radio isn't just what your grandpa does out in the shed out back. Radios are an important piece of technology we use every day, and amateur ham radio has been at the forefront of its development since day one. We are some of the original hardware hackers. DIY exploration and sharing has always been a vital part of our community, and the goal of Ham Radio Village is to nurture this growth into the next generation with all of the amazing people at DEF CON. Our village will have demos, talks, presentations, contests, and of course, license exams. Now, do you see how this could have been avoided? First of all, what I said on the other show was I believe that, you guys let me know what you think. I believe that this was nothing more than a way to set us up for the next round of restrictions, financial restrictions, and all kinds of stuff. But you let me know what you guys think.
That's what I look at it like that's what it was.
Some like definitely some more forms of control, you know.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of the last thing. Yeah, only a drill, Sandy Aaron said. It reminds me of one of the last things that we had that we got to take off our shoes when we go to the airport. You can't disagree with anybody. You got to walk like you're getting into the soup Nazis soup line there in order for you to get on an airplane. You can't disagree. You can't look to the right. You can't look to the left. It's like, a problem. Useless knowledge says, I remember when the mafia worked behind closed doors, and now, okay, absolutely. Now it's publicized. It's public. There you go. Yep. Did it do. Sending out the SOS. Exactly, Joy. Did it. Yep, absolutely. It was a setup, Betty R. And it was by design. I totally get it. They are hacking our minds and thoughts. Well, that came from Noah Harari. Remember Noah Harari there with the WEF said the same thing. Oh, humans are hackable. Remember that, King BJ? Mm-hmm. Chaq, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, peace and blessings. How you good, wonderful people doing tonight?
Peace and blessings. What's How you?
Man, you know me, slow motion, Miss Dr. Lockhart. I'm slow motion, baby. Hey, look, stay maintaining, stay complaining, baby. You know me. Yes, sir.
You know what? I feel like there's been some weird shifts just recently that's taken place, and I know that these things happen a lot, but I think that exactly, Joy Trujillo, I think that a lot of stuff is going to happen more and more as time progresses. They're moving things, they're shifting things. The dates and times are moving and changing. There's a couple of stories that I'm going to pull up that are in line with them saying, yeah, we've done some time changing. Ironically, around April the 1st, Ronnie, my brother, and I looked at a story that was published. And before I would run it, I got to dig and dig and dig and dig. So I waited. I refrained for about a day. And the next day, after we were looking at the story, they came out on the CERN website and said, "Did you fall for our April Fool's Day prank? We told you guys that we had changed the time. No, we haven't done that. We can't do that." Now all of a sudden there's a story that comes out that said that. I don't think that you have the ability to send that back to me, Sandy, but overnight they did something happened overnight, and now all of my messages, including the one where I sent you that deal that we were talking about that one day, is totally gone. So I can't even find that anymore, where it was saying that the time was changed. But there's a lot of weird things going on. If I were you guys, I would make sure that any weird stuff that you see, capture it. Just capture it, because there's a lot of stuff that's happening. All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to give you guys the floor. You guys go ahead. King BJ, if you want to continue to talk about that, let's chat about it. But tell me what you guys in the chat think about how convenient it was that just, for 2 or 3 weeks prior to the September 11th issue happening there at the MGM Grand Hotel property in Las Vegas, they had an actual hackers convention come in to their location at the Mandalay Bay. And they had all these different things going on. They knew enough sense to know not to take any credit cards, not to give their own names, to use a VPN if they were going to get online. You guys, what say you? Tell me all about it. What do you think?
Well, like I said, it seems like it's more hacking and more more the same. I think the daggone everybody in for a rude awakening. Banks are closing, schools are closing, and Ford is going on strike. Well, auto workers are going on strike anyway. I think Ford laid off about 600 workers.
Wow.
So, but you know what? I think about it like this. This is time when the administration come in and jump in and be the hero. But I realize there's a whole lot of strikes going across industries. UPS had a strike. This one had a strike. This one has a strike. So that goes to show you that you have all these strikes. That goes to show you a lot of things going wrong. Train strike. So nobody's happy. And as I look at it more and more when it comes to AOC, with her yesterday up there in New York when they were booing her and the other guy, they already told you they're trying to give people work permits. So the same thing that's happening in MGM. And last time I went to even a casino, I did realize with a lot of foreigners working in these casinos. So hey, it should be more the same to me. That's all. More it's the like same, and they're gonna play the same game.
It's like Vegas. Sorry about that, BJ, but they got a lot of foreigners in Vegas working. Most of them people working in them casinos is foreigners. What does that tell you? You know, and then Eric Adams over here. I mean, they trying to call Eric Adams a black Trump now. You know, it's just just because he's what I'm saying, he's really just now he flip flop. You know. But I guess he's saying what they don't want to hear about.
He's not flip flopping. You know what's going on? He's calling for a state of emergency. That's a smoke screen. He's just saying, "Hey, look, we got a lot of immigrants and they want work permits, and we just want y'all to foot the bill and pay the money to give them worker permits and housing." That's all. He not flip flopping. State of emergency mean that they just need federal money to help the program. That's all. He not flip flopping. He actually doing more. He said he need work permits.
Damn. See. But see, the thing is, so do prisoners need work permits? I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, do robbers need work permits?
No. You get paid $1 a day, they get $6 an hour.
Do jackers get work permits? You know what I'm saying? Do people, you know what I mean, that murder people get work permits? I mean, if you illegally do stuff, how do you get rewarded though? If you're doing something, and it's not illegal to write. From what we're saying, it's illegal. The so-called law of the land, right? And they so-called laws, it's illegal. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't understand. So y'all don't want to follow your own laws. You know what I mean? It's like it's and they got a lot of ignorant people jumping on the bandwagon. But you talking about the black Trump being like, okay, like Peter just said, this is just all this little publicity stunt, and this is like a ploy to get more federal money to actually like warp speed, kind of like to actually get them speed up the process to get them work permits. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these people play a lot of games, man. I just don't trust none of these politicians. I'm sorry, I can't. Like I don't know these people. You know what I'm saying? But I see how they move. How do you know when they lying? When their lips are moving. So I don't know.
But you know what? For as regards to the topic of the 9/11 situation, I thought it was very strange and very not strange, but definitely a coincidence that prior to 2001, what was the going thing?
We're talking about like terrorists all the time.
Y2K.
Oh yes.
Right.
You're
Just
right.
all of a sudden we get hit with the 2001. Then everything changed from the way they surveil you, from the way the security checkpoints at the airport, all around. You know what I'm saying? The trickle down of the effect of so-called Big Brother really, really tapping in on your security, and everything else fell after that. Was it Edward Snowden? Didn't all that come after that?
Snowden.
Right, the WikiLeaks and all that stuff.
Yeah. And that's tragic in and of itself when you consider, I don't know. And when I think about the guy from WikiLeaks, it's just like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Daryl, it's like, wow, are you kidding me? We could have let that fell out too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Be more Busker. Yeah. Hey, I don't know. It just seems
some
to
people
me
say
like,
that was a takeover though. The 9/11 was the new takeover, I guess, for the new power structure of how was
yeah, I hear a lot of stuff about that. I hear about,
Mm-hmm.
Nasara, Jasara. I hear
Mm-hmm.
about the takeover. I hear a lot of stuff, but to me, it's just, I think that was one of the first times that some of us of a certain age woke up to certain things, because when I look back and see the MO, it's like this stuff's been going on for a minute. They've been doing this kind of stuff for a long time. Do you know what I mean? I mean, that kind of tricking you, making you think that it was some bad dude or whatever, the bad actors or whatever. It just feels like, it's just one bad joke after another bad joke, because that right there was, that was an elaborate situation. And then this right here, what we're talking about that happened, September 11th, 2023 with MGM. Can you be any more, hey, Steve Willis? It's like, I just don't know. I just feel like, can it be any more set up? Can it be any more set up? You literally had a hackers, but they failed to see. I think that's important. They failed to tell us that this very same organization, MGM, they failed to tell us that they had a hackers conference at their hotel, at one of their properties. Let that sink in. Have you heard that? I didn't. I had to hear that from a best friend of mine who lives out there. When I called to ask her,
that's not a coincidence.
That's my point. And that's what Ronnie and I were just talking about, something on a totally different topic, but we use the phrase, there really are no, there really are no coinkydinks. Chaq said, there are not. There are no coinkydinks. It's just
a hackers convention. That don't even sound right.
Well, apparently DEF CON is something that's been going on. It's not something new. I think that the funny thing is that the timing and the correlation between this happening and then this being this big deal, that, as to King BJ's point, you even look at it as it relates to the credit unions.
Hey, wait a minute. Didn't Kanye West say something about some DEF CON 3?
Oh yeah.
When was that? How long ago was it?
Last year, around October, when they was having the thing going on with the USD.
Oh yeah, when he talked about his daughter or something like that. When he was saying they're going to try to do this.
No, when he said, I'm going DEF CON 3 on the Jews.
Oh, here it is. Okay, we're not going to
Yeah,
use
that
that
was all
term.
wrapped up in there, Ms.
We're not going to
Lockhart.
use that. We're not going to use their term. We're not going to play their game over here because I'm not getting my channel hit because they got a problem with that J word. But with that said, I found what you're talking about. I found the quote right here, and I'm going to go ahead and read it. I'm not going to read it verbatim because again, I'm not playing with these people. I don't have time. Right there. Let me pull it up. You can't even see it. Let me see. Can I make it larger? Yeah, I don't play with them people. I leave them people alone. This is their stuff. All right, it goes. Kanye West used the military term DEFCON 3 in a tweet posted on Saturday, the 8th of October of 2022, which was labeled vicious and anti-Semitic. The tweet was later removed by Twitter for violating their rules. This 3 thing that he talks about appears to be a mistaken use of the U.S. military heightened alerts status, DEFCON 3. West was challenged on his remarks and their racist nature, but he said he didn't regret him and using him about that group of individuals. So, yeah, but I think that it's so far away. Had this happened last year, maybe, we could maybe look at it, but I think that it was just the rantings of a now known, well indoctrinated MK Ultra madman.
I can see that. I can see a lot of these. A lot of these celebrities, man. You never know when when they're turning on, when they turn on and off the characters. You don't never know when they're actually being their real selves instead of acting or playing their doing their job. I don't know. That's just how I look at it a lot of times.
I have to agree. And then I think that right now, what the funniest thing is I'm let me tell you guys what I was thinking about earlier, like yesterday and then today. I was like, the weirdest thing is the fact that they've all had this conversation about it. And you guys just follow me here for just a second, just indulge me. So how they've been talking about, oh, this is assimilation, the whole thing is assimilation, oh, this is this and that. What if these nuts were right? What if this is assimilation? What if for every 1,000 people, they've got like a team of 10 that monitor those 10 people? You know what I mean? Watch him. He gonna go in that bank and he gonna get a loan. Stop it. Go ahead. Make sure he don't get it. The more I think about that, I'm like, well, you know what? It isn't as far-fetched as we think it is. Because how many times have you ever thought of something or, well, I'm gonna use myself. I went to the store. I was like, oh my goodness, these watermelons are awesome. They're delicious. I found some watermelons with seeds. I was telling my daughter, oh my gosh, there's watermelons with seeds around the corner at the store. Do you know that after that last watermelon sold, there were no more watermelons with seeds? So I go over there today. A couple of days ago, I asked the grocer, I was like, and I was like, hey, you getting any more watermelons with seeds? Well, I got a whole thing back there in the back and I got to break it down. The shipment came, but right now it's got sandwich meat packages all over that particular box. So when I break it open, I'm going to bring it out. I'll go back over there today. Everything is seedless. That's not the first time that's happened to me. I get to ranting about something. Next thing I know, it's not there. So what if for every 1,000 people, these weirdos had 10 people monitoring each section? How do we not know how they're going to herd everybody in? Wee-oo-wee-oo. How do we not know that how do we not know how they want to send everybody into one of those smart cities?
I like that. I want to talk about the smart cities too, actually.
Go.
Hold on, Bernard. Let me ask you a question before you get there. How long do you think this been going on, Ms. Locker? What you just said, what you just laid out. Let's go, baby. It's prime time.
I was born in 1964, so I would have to say this episode of what is the name of that show, Ronnie? I know you still here. What is that? The Truman Show. This episode of the Truman Show would have happened at least since 1964 in my case. Since Babylon, Sandy said, save those seeds. I did. I saved a bunch of them. I saved them and dried them up and got them on a paper towel and dried them. I even threw some in the backyard. I was like, let's see what happens. What happens? No, I mean, just think about it. Just where do you think the pinky and the brain come from? They would try to take over the world. So that's what I'm thinking. Maybe maybe.
Okay.
No, they don't believe it.
Because let's say, well, certain people ain't here. Oh, especially when we talking about certain times in history, 400 year of indoctrination of 400 years that they keep, pushing down our throat. They say, well, all those people ain't here anymore. But if the trauma is still going on allegedly and it's getting worse and worse allegedly, that means it had to be passed down to them. That doctrine, that script, that um plan scheme has to be passed down to the next generations too then. And they taking up the same moniker as their ancestors.
Hmm. I like it. I like it. I like it. Absolutely, Betty. Okay, but before we move on, I want to see Useless Knowledge says, I think the MGM crap is going to lead eventually to the need for FedNow. As the same as the event 201 led to the roll-up receiver. And then let me ask you this. You guys notice how just last week, anybody that had the Cash App, you weren't able to use your Cash App because FedNow is just it, And I did not know that Zelle, for example, went to different banks. My bank originally, the one that I have from Louisiana, that bank never ever touched Zelle. And when I had a Wells Fargo account, I never touched Zelle. But they never touched, I should say, they never touched, they never really cared for the green $ thing. Now they have Zelle at my bank from Louisiana. I thought that was only a Wells Fargo thing. Shows my ignorance. But now the whole
Fed now. The Zelle app?
Yeah, but I didn't know that all banks. I thought that was just a Wells Fargo thing. But apparently now,
Navy Federal Credit Union been had Zelle, but I never really actually used it until they've been having Zelle.
Well, FedNow is really going to get mad, and I think they really maybe they sort of pushed or triggered something or changed something or did something with Cash App because they certainly did stop them. They were down for like a good day. I love living in Texas. I can always find watermelon with seeds. Girl,
I need to get the link to her because I need to find my man this DFW and I can't find her.
Man, I was so upset. I was like, look, I felt like when Ben Stiller was walking on us, what does it call it? Everybody Loves, what is her name? The lady, something, the show he had, he was going, that's how I felt. I was like, they don't got no watermelons with seeds. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, how crazy is this that we literally have to scour the town looking for, seeded watermelons? You literally, I was facilitating a training class about 4 years ago, and I made the comment that I always make, and I told the team, the group of people that I was interviewing, that I was training. I was like, you got to learn just to, eat the watermelon and spit out the seeds. And they go, what? Watermelon don't got no seeds. They were laughing. Ha, 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 ha. Watermelons don't have seeds. And I'm like, I held on to my invisible pearls. I said, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I said, okay, that's because you are hybrid babies. You guys don't know. They do have seeds. You got seeds. You're supposed to.
Speaking of hybrid babies, I was looking at an article earlier. They said they developed the first human from an embryo without a sperm or egg.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that. So I said, are those really, what is that?
Well,
they're actually paying people $20 on the streets and places to get your DNA. They pay $20. Hey, DNA.
Just like they was paying people Krispy Kreme donuts to get the candy bar,
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Hey, Marty.
The governor of New York say this is a new one. Say it doesn't matter if you had it before or not. You need to get it. Providence, Rhode Island. They told him you got to November 30th. Okay.
So I sent you a video with the ladies. They played a video with this white lady, group of white ladies and white people. Man, they was talking about how this was a video that was 20 years old, and they were talking about everything that's going on now. They even was talking about how they been knew how to create people and create. You know what I'm saying? From
that's been going on for thousands of years.
Yeah,
I seen that video. You talking
so
about?
they, you know,
You talking about what's the name's channel? Yep. Oh, that lady was breaking it
yeah,
down.
the original copper,
Yep.
copper entry, the copper color entry, yeah.
That lady was breaking it down, dude. They've been planning stuff from the beginning because that was like 20-some years ago. That
What's
video
going on, Miss Dawson? Miss Dawson in the building.
Right. What up, Dawson?
Yeah, Dawson in
Do
the
you
building.
have her email address? I can send you can send her.
Yeah, I got it.
The email.
I can send it to her.
Yeah,
I
somebody
got
send
an
it to
email
her
address.
via email or text.
I
Well,
got
I
it.
can't put it out here no more because we have
No, I
some
got you.
weirdos popping up here.
I
Weirdos.
got you.
Nasty weirdos.
Yeah,
I got her to send to an email right now.
Okay, cool. If she wants to come up, I would love to have to. Now, listen, you guys. I'm gonna qualify it again. I've compared us tonight to the Seinfeld of YouTube. We don't have a topic. It's various topics. Y'all can throw the topic up here if you want to, and we'll chat about it.
Well, let me bring up a topic right quick.
Okay, come on.
Let me read it off my phone though, because I got to get it.
Okay, go right ahead. Do your thing.
Okay, so this is in New York City, right?
Okay.
New York City congestion pricing board tackles tough job of deciding who will be exempt. New toll may charge Easy Pass motorists as much as $23. Drivers completed toll.
Wait a minute. What?
You heard what I said.
Wow.
So nearly everyone in the New York City area whatever, wants a break on a new congestion pricing toll set to take effect in Manhattan next year, which I went to earlier this year. But the cost of those exemptions adds up. I mean, the tolls I paid was $17 too to go to certain areas. Just put it out there. A 6-member traffic mobility review board held its second public meeting on Thursday that works to create a tolling schedule for the new program, which will begin as soon as the second quarter of 2024. The board is tasked with figuring out not only what groups like low-income residents of New Jersey commuters should receive carve-outs, but it also needs to assess how to dole out those discounts while still bringing in the $1 billion a year that the Metropolitan Transportation Authority, which runs city subways, buses, and commuter rail lines, is banking on. So, I mean, I'm gonna send you this article, Ms. Lockhart, right? But I mean, doesn't it seem like they're trying to get every drop out of you they can?
Which is the reason why I'm gonna go back and say it again. I mean, hey, they've got themselves the new type of slave that they want, and they consider humans their new method of making money. That's just the way that I see it. That's just the way that it is. That's it. So, let me go ahead. I'll go ahead and pull this story and read it out and show everybody what it looks like, so that way they can go ahead and look at it too. Thank you for bringing that up. But I want to say this as it relates to tolls. Remember, I'm not sure if you guys were in that live or not, but we were talking specifically about the fact that a lot of those toll companies are not from here anymore.
Yeah, we was on here.
Yeah,
China.
And we were talking about how they were in Spain, right? Somewhere in Spain and other countries.
China too. Toll roads.
China. Mm-hmm. You see? And so it's like, okay, well, what's the real deal here? If it doesn't belong to you, then you're able to go on ahead and sell it out part and parcel. It doesn't matter. You don't care about it. It doesn't belong to you. It never belonged to you. So now you can do whatever you want to do with it. That's how I feel about the US. It's like it didn't belong to any of these people. And because it didn't belong to any of these people, well, now they can just go on ahead and sell it to the highest bidder, give it away to the highest bidder because they don't care because it doesn't belong to them, if that makes sense.
Event 201. What's the other one? There's a couple of the 1390 or 1890 or what's the project? What's it? I don't know, but it's a lot of I can't really think of time. I lost my train of thought, but y'all know what I'm talking about. It's a lot of this stuff is already, they people been pre-planned, and that pretty soon they really want a lot of people to start renting, because if you think about it, they've been like BlackRock, people like that been buying properties. They've been buying properties, houses. You see what I'm saying? That's been foreclosed, or people just haven't really bought, or been overpriced, whatever the case is, and they've been turning them to Airbnbs, man. So
question.
They want more renters. They want more.
Question. You see this guy? You see that guy Ken Paxton down there in Texas? I think he got acquitted today at that trial, right?
Okay.
Now
he did. I didn't know that's what happened. Okay.
Acquitted, but I know they've been having a trial. Whether he got acquitted, I think I read he got acquitted. But nevertheless, Ken Paxton, I don't know. I didn't even pay that much attention to the case because I know that Ken Paxton, the problem didn't come from him until he said they were not going to go by the DUI and the BlackRock stuff. I do know that. And I do know that Larry Fink had also told companies you need to encourage certain behaviors if you want to get DEI scores, basically social governance scores, right? So that happened with that was what part of the reason why they probably went after Ken Paxton more so than not. But hey, BlackRock is running a lot of stuff. Bill Gates is even I think he's invested $95 million into a company they say is failing, like Bud Light. What are they gonna do with those beers? Who knows?
He said, "What are they gonna do with those beers? Who knows?"
Boy, who gonna drink those beers?
No, BlackRock was back in 2001 wasn't BlackRock in a Iraq private security. That was Blackwater. That was Erie Print. That was Blackwater. And everything was in 2005. Actually, Blackwater was actually in Hurricane Katrina too, because they were mercenaries that were used to keep people from crossing the bridge too. Blackwater actually was put in Hurricane Katrina too. A lot of people don't know that.
Right. So go back. You talking about the Ken Paxton situation, right, Bernard? For the people that's listening, the listeners, they might don't know who Ken Paxton is, and if I'm not mistaken, I think he's the Attorney General. He was Attorney General of Texas, and he was just recently today it was voted on the verdict of impeachment. Now, when I looked up these impeachment trials and stuff, now you have to get a acquittal on all 16 articles of whatever they're trying to charge you for, right? So he got acquittal on all 16. If you get a guilty on any one, then that's grounds for an impeachment. Very interesting. So he got acquitted today, huh? I went on my Instagram and I did Instagram live from CBS News here while it was going on. So I caught the first 5, and I was gonna do the whole thing with Ms. Lockhart, but when I researched and looked up that there's 16 articles, I said, nah. I'm not gonna sit here for no damn 16 article verdict. But I don't know how many articles they actually he had to get off on or whatever, get the acquittal on. But I did, if you go check my Instagram, Chaq _Edwards, I did stream live as the trial was going on, the verdict was going on. So I did get the first 5, and they was all acquittals at that point.
So what do you think about it as a whole? I mean, what is the whole, for those people who don't know the backstory? Could you give us a little bit more into the backstory?
You know what? I really don't know the backstory because I'm just coming on this because I heard it.
I can tell you, Chaq. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you got it.
What's going on, Dawson? How you doing?
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? Hey, Frank.
Yeah, give us the backstory. This is Nurse Dawson. She's coming out of Houston, Texas.
Yeah,
man.
So I be down in Austin trying to advocate for us via policy, while everybody else screaming and hollering. They don't understand it's about policy and what's black and white. That's what you see, how you see change become effective and trickle down, to your city, county, and of course your local neighborhoods. Anyway, so it was this guy named Nate Powell that they was talking about Ken Paxton was doing business with. And it was some dealing with like a modeling, a reconstruction of a bathroom, and some other business deals that they had going on. To me, it was more so personal. So what they were saying, Ken Paxton usually the attorney general, when it's fraud or things like that going on there, what the guy Nate Powell was doing, they prosecute, right? They prosecuted several cases similar to what was going on, but because I guess this relationship Ken Paxton had with this Nate Powell guy, who's very wealthy, he told those allegedly, let me say allegedly, because this is what they saying. He told those attorneys in his office to back out. Don't mess with him. It's like, well, that's not how the procedure works. We do this for everybody else. And I'm saying all allegedly because we don't know the whole true story. But anyway, that's what it was. It wasn't nothing else besides that. So let me just say this: they going after Ken Paxton for a number of reasons. Like BJ said, they stopped that ESG BlackRock mess. Where it was Ken Paxton and it was the our commissioner or something that deals with like the money thing. So they been after Ken Paxton. They did not like Ken Paxton when he went after that remember that little show that was sexualizing those kids called Cuties that Obamas was a part of directing or getting started.
So okay, they're on Netflix.
Correct. The state of Texas sued that and won that case. He also went after he going after the Biden administration for what happened with this the V word, the CV-19. They going after the Biden administration for that, along with what's going on at the border. So Ken Paxton been kicking butt for the state of Texas for the longest and winning. So he's a threat to the establishment. Why would you come after this man because of something he dealing with, somebody who donates it? Don't all of them do it? Jim Crow job, you doing it with your son, Hunter. And
so
you
let me ask you, Ms.
treason through the whole, like Chaq say, treason. How is this man still in office in treason? Because we know the election wasn't, legit. I hope don't flag her show for that. I said that, not Ms. Lockhart. Okay.
So Johnson, let me ask you something.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Shaq.
Now, was Ken Paxton involved with this situation with schools as far as these alphabet material that's in these library schools? So he was against that.
That too.
Is he one of the people that was against that?
Correct.
You gotta get my drift.
All of it. Right.
Okay.
He was because how it works is if you're not getting help on a local or the county level, you can see a lot of people. That's why we got to learn about civics and government. You can go to your state. You don't have to just look what just happened with our school district, one of the largest school districts, HISD being taken over. That was taken over by the state because the city has no power like that. See, people think that's why the state will say, hey, y'all can do what y'all want to in cities and counties, even though we coming to crack down. We see y'all. And they can step in and make laws or have special sessions to have things change. So, yeah. And at you saying that, Shaq, the legislative session, September 1 was a lot of new Texas laws that was passed on the last legislative session. They started September 1. So all that transgender books and libraries, because y'all don't know, Texas was the first state to crack down on that mess years ago. A lot of people don't know that. So I'm glad that we can fight for education like we've been doing as far as injustice of education and inequities of education, and we ain't got to fight because they putting, this type of stuff in our kids' library and curriculum. So I do appreciate the state of Texas for that. So I'm not about red or blue. It's about right versus wrong, and you got to go with the party that best fits you. Yeah, we need a third party, maybe a fourth party. But at this state, our states and our country is at stake. So our people need to understand it.
Let me add to that right quick, because what she's saying is there are people out here fighting and strategizing the best way they can. They're not picking up arms per se, but they're fighting with tools that they can use, you know what I'm saying, in this system to use to push back on the so-called what we looking like overturning or overreach, because the media won't tell you this. The media's not going to go in and tell you that people are it's not for this stuff being pushed on these children in these school systems, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad we got people that's standing up and able to have the the type of spirit and energy to fight for that, because that shouldn't be in the schools to try to over sexualize children. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Minors. You know what I'm saying? Bringing in this stuff and I mean, come on now. So there are people out here standing and fighting up. So I'm telling
What
people
you
that's
have
listening,
done?
don't listen to everything that's going on in the media, because they are being paid for propaganda, to push propaganda.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
They didn't cover
That's
it.
their
They didn't
job.
cover it in detail like they should
Hmm.
have with that. That's why. And let me just tell y'all how Texas roll. It's straight Republican. So I don't care how. I'm not saying they do right as well. I already people come calling, and our people are so brainwashed. Oh yeah, they gonna take Ken Pass down. He going to jail. He gonna be. That's why I asked my friends who was saying that. I said, well, do y'all know what he being charged for, and why you think he should be impeached and go to jail? I, well, they said. I say, well, who said he did something? Who was they? Like my ex-fiance daddy used to say, who is they? Have you read
Right.
and did your research? Well, he needs to go. I say, but do you know what he's done to help save and protect Texas? Do you know the reason you got a job and the way the economy is in Texas is because of Ken Paxton? Is because of Republican legislation? Is because of Republican governor? I don't like a lot of the stuff they do, but I've worked with them too, so I can't. I've got more help and response working with the Republicans in Texas than the Democrats here, locally
Mm.
and at the state level. So
Hmm.
when they say
They're
that,
more
they need to
responsive.
give, huh?
They're more responsive.
Yeah, they're more responsive in one way. I just went up there to meet with the people at the Texas Policy Institute. I just did that on last month. We
Mm-hmm.
met with them about education, transportation, career learning, all that, because they are trying to fill that void while they trying to say, oh, y'all not diverse, y'all don't want to reach down to the community or whatever. So they are trying. I haven't had no people from the Democratic Party ask us about that with policy. We fighting people like Democrats like Allen, who you claim you for education, but you against school choice.
Hmm.
You claim you for education, but you've been working with a nonprofit 18 years to get rid of corporal punishment out of school, period. First of all, corporal punishment never went away. You opt in as a parent. You could say yes or no. Why would you rid of that when you know all the destruction going on in our schools? That's
Hmm.
the problem because of lack of discipline. Now that PA done took over HIV, they're talking about discipline now. So these
But
kids can learn more. But yeah, they going after. I don't want to take up too much time on your
No,
show,
you're
but yeah,
welcome to speak.
they. I'm just trying to educate our people that they're going when we got to be smart. When they always the media and the government attack a certain person, go and do your research and try to find out and see why. Remember they got an old saying that say when they telling you to do the opposite. I mean they tell you do one thing, you need to do the opposite. And that's just
Mm.
where we at. And I kept saying 2020 was going to reveal all the corruption that was going on in this world, whether it was from the government, people, and just general people who've been doing it wrong and getting away from it. They getting their karma now. Everything is being exposed. I said that when 2020 happened. Now, I'm not saying I'm a psychic or nothing like that, but it seems like I'm telling the truth.
but going to the school choice, Ms. Dawson, because I don't
Okay.
think, especially
Okay.
for us so-called black and melanated populated areas,
Okay.
because these Democrats are against school choice. And why are they so against school choice for all you Democratic people that just vote for them? Understand why they don't want you to have school choice? Please explain that, Miss Dawson.
Okay, so yes, so school choice has been an issue that Texas have tried to pass for a couple of years now, and it's going to eventually get passed, believe it or not. So what school choice basically say is, so they got school choice, and they have a voucher program. But let me just go on to school choice. So school choice says I'm giving the power and the money and putting it back into the parents' hands. If they in a neighborhood, they don't feel their kids are getting the proper education they need, right? You as a parent can take those dollars and do whatever. You can put them in the private school. You may have to pay extra. You could use them to put it in a home school. You could use it to go to another area or school district. That's why I told people we've been doing school choice. I'm doing it right now. My son, the other parents have done it. Well, we had to leave our neighborhood to go to a neighboring school district. We may have to rent an apartment or pay somebody. I'm not saying that's you know, the paying somebody legal, but you had to do what you had to do for your kids to get an education. Or people moved into another suburban neighborhood just so their kids can have a better education. That's school choice. The second one is school vouchers. So how the school vouchers work, it can work the same too. You can use that to send your kids to a private school, but you also can use it for transportation. So say you need transportation because your kids need to go to tutoring after school. You can use it for that. Like the parents may be able to afford for tutoring, but they can't get the kids there. You can use the transportation from that to get the kids to and back. You can use it for tutoring. I had a whole nonprofit where we tutored underserved youth after school tutoring program. I wish I would have had the voucher program. We would have been straight. You could use the vouchers for tutoring. You could use the vouchers to buy educational material like off of Amazon. You want to work with at home with your students. One of my parents in my tutoring program, I remember she said she also helped her son because she bought material off of Amazon and from a homeschool site. You could use that too, the funds for that. It could be used for a number of things. But when you let the media tell and put the media out there and talk about it, oh, it's such a bad thing. And it's the teachers unions who are the problem, y'all. They are the mold. They are the problem because they push this liberal Democrat agenda, and our education among the people that look like us has fallen ever since because of these people. But they supposed to be for us, right? No, they not for us. They're against us. But we know what Malcolm X said about the liberal, right? Just go read just go look at the speech of what Malcolm X said about the liberal. Mm-hmm. And that tells you all what you need to know. And I end on this. This how corrupt the teachers union is. Did y'all see that lady in Chicago get busted?
Okay. I was just about to talk about her too.
I was just about to mention her.
Did y'all see what happened with her?
Mm-hmm.
That ain't the pot.
They call the kettle black.
All day.
No, I didn't see y'all. Somebody had to break that down for me.
No, I think I sent it in our group.
I sent it to you, Shaq, too.
I think I sent out. You know what? I didn't send it to you directly. I probably sent it in the group chat. But yeah, she got busted for sending her son to a private school. And that's why I say it's always eyes watching. So they calling for her resignation. And what about the lady Keisha Minor in Georgia? She had to switch from being a Democrat into Georgia legislation to a Republican because they didn't want school choice. And she said, I'm just doing the job of my constituents. They said they want better schools, better choices. And she was saying how low the reading and math scores were at. I think it's so bad there. It's like, what, 5 or 10%?
Terrible.
It's
horrifying.
And she said
it's horrifying. Yeah,
but
it's horrifying.
Guess what Keisha Minor said, though? Keisha Minor said, and I end on this, she said, I never thought I would get as many threats that I did. I never thought Democrats would think a black person who has knowledge and a brain could think of be their worst threat. That's what she said. And she not lying. I'm sorry, Ms. Lockhart.
You don't have to apologize. This is the time where we all come. It's like our talking drum. We just throw the conversation out there, and whoever pick it up. But I pulled up the story right here where the teachers union defends sending her son to a private school. Before we get into this is what I was talking about the other week when I said that they use people who look like us to push agendas that actually end up shackling all of Americans. And the purpose for me bringing that up is because they want to make sure that if they deal with us who they've considered a marginalized community, if they deal with us, then if you say anything about this, then that means that you're a racist. If you don't like this and we're telling you that we're doing this to help them, then that means you're racist. But what I've always said as it relates to one of their topics, and that was they were always saying, well, we're doing this because we need people to have we don't want people to feel like that they don't have their ID, they can't vote. We know that there's a lot of marginalized and African-American communities and they don't have their ID. And the one thing that I've always said is that's the one thing our parents always taught us. Make sure you keep your ID on you. Get your ID. Take your ID. Our mothers and fathers, some of us, or a big mama or somebody like that was always around and always took us to go get things like identification cards. And, we always had to have ID. So when they brought that type of topic up, we were sort of, for those of us who think, we were like, wait a minute, why are you saying that? We have ID. But they use that to push their agenda to having no identification, small amounts of ID. They did not want to have all the checks and balances in place. And they utilized African Americans, quote unquote, as their reasoning for this. And it also bound up the individuals who would otherwise speak out, who may not look like us, because they feared that if they talked about it, they would be considered a racist. This story that we're going to get in right now is talking about the woman who is in Chicago, the very woman we were just talking about. The teachers union young lady defends sending her son to a private school. There is no defense, let me just say this, but she is just like so many other people, women specifically, from the former mayor of Chicago to the lady out there that's probably going to lose her job, bless her heart. She's all up the wrong tree by dealing with this whole Trump situation. But nonetheless, I digress on that. But to Fani Willis, also to several other, I noticed, women who look like this. They're buying into this whole thing. And I'm going to say this, and oh man, this may be harsh. Maybe I would have to say this on the radio, on maybe Blog Talk or something, because I don't know a lot of people can handle this. But it reminds me of a bewitch type of mentality. People are trying to figure out why are they like this, and it's because it's a seed that's already there, a seed that's already been planted, a seed that all they've got to do is stroke it a little bit, give it a little bit of compliments, pour a little bit more water, pet it, and treat it really nicely, and then watch it show out for them. And that's the unfortunate piece about it. That's my opinion. That's specifically my perspective as it relates to why there are so many women that are doing this and that are actually harming our community by doing something strange for a little piece of change. Here you go. Let me make sure we got this here.
School choice and private. I didn't speak out against private schools. I spoke out against school choice. School choice and private schools are two different entities.
In your tweet, you describe basically you describe private schools of the North. That was literally your language. But you've also said this, that school choice was the choice of racists. I think at the end of the day, people are asking here about whether the rhetoric matches your actions. What do you say to that?
Well, I would say that if we understand the desegregation of schools post Brown v. the Board of Education, we also understand that school districts in the South in particular closed down entire school districts, offered money to families, white families, so they could get accepted into private schools. That is, in fact, the origin of school choice in America.
I forgot that there was background music here, so I know that I'm going to get a ding for that. We are using this specifically not for the music. We are using this specifically under the act of fair use. This is fair use. We do not own the music. The music does not belong to us. This is fair use. Now, I know I'm going to still get a ding anyway, but who cares? So the deal is that you've got, what does it say? Davis Gates said last year that having her children in public schools helps to legitimize her position within the union, and that she could not advocate on behalf of public schools if that were not the case. But the problem is, let me mute this so that I can continue so that we can read the portion here. All right, let's go on. If it says anything else, I think that's it. Okay. And those last couple of seconds gave me a nice little thing. But anyway, so the issue is that she's out here touting this situation, saying that that they're two different things. No, they're not two different things. They are exactly the same thing. If you decide that you want your children to go to a private school, that is your choice. Let that sit there. That is a choice to allow your children to go to a public school or a private school. If you elect to pull your children out of the public school that you are a part of, that you are the head of, the organization that's supposed to stand up for them, then what does it say about the school systems themselves, the school system itself, if you don't even want your own child to go there? You're sitting up here as the restrainer, holding people back. No. You're literally caping for the public school system, while at the same time agreeing completely with the other parents that believe that the school system is trash and needs to be changed. But it's again, and you know what? I know that I take a lot of flack on being hard on us as women who are melanated. All right, whether you're an Aborigine, whether no matter what you do, I'm hard. And I have to be, because I cannot seem to get it through my head how people make the decisions that they make when they're looking at their own community. And the only thing that I can see is the least common denominator is money and power and all of that. A few new bags, a couple of new, pairs of Chanel shoes, or Manolo Blahniks, or a couple of handbags, or, nice car, a nice house. All of these things that all feather away and that all go away are what these individuals are literally selling out their own people for. And yet they do it time and time again. It's done as a repeated narrative because it works. You guys jump on in.
It's people getting a little bit of crumbs, people getting, you got the men do it too, but I see what you're saying with the women though. It's like, man, it's like, especially like in politics and like entertainment, and look at these women rappers, man. It's like, man, that's a kind of like, you can kind of see with these women rappers, man, the type of stuff and the agendas that they pushing, and they know it's going to acquiesce, it's going to go, to these little girls, man. These little girls are the ones that it's going to indoctrinate. You see what I'm saying?
I'm glad you brought that up. And I do want to throw something to the panel now that you're on the topic. I'll let you get back on it, but I want to throw this out. You guys start thinking about this while Frank is continuing his thoughts. And that is, what do you think about Sexy Red? I know that's her name, right? I believe that she's a psyop, but I do want to hear what you guys have to say. But go ahead, Frank, finish your comment, and then I want everybody to throw that in. I threw that meat out there, but I need everybody to go on ahead and do your thing.
You want me to go ahead and break it down, man?
I mean, let me throw this out here, and then I'll let you guys just go ahead and devour it. I believe that she is a psyop, that she is a plant to attack our community, and I believe that they bring these individuals out every now and again, and they give them an agenda, they give them a talking point, they give them who they are, and then that individual is who they want to bleed over into our community. Go ahead.
Let me break this thing down. All right. So, when I was looking at her, I was like, you know what? I heard about her earlier in the year. I'm like, hear this song, got some vulgar lyrics, but it is what it is. Like, you know what? I said, this ain't going far. But then she started getting further. Then she started getting further up the line. Then she started doing a song with Nicki Minaj. She would pictures with Jason Tatum, Drake, which is the other one? Zukiana, all these ones. Then she was at the BET Awards, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dang, she's rip. But what it all culminated to me was on 9/11 this week when she was at the game and Sauce Gardner and the New York Jets walked over to give her a hug, but that wasn't it. She had a stack of money in her hand. But when Woody Johnson, a billionaire owner for the New York Jets, come to take a picture with Sexy Red, I know this ain't normal. So why would a billionaire owner, a white man, want to take a picture with Sexy Red? And he got a chain on his neck, and she holding a stack of money. Now, this woman's supposed to be from St. Louis. What's she doing? I mean, she can be at New York City X game all she wants, saying Aaron Rodgers got hurt. But to me, this thing was all aside right there. I said, this woman is really out there, and don't be surprised, just like 2020. They might bring her out to do interviews.
Oh, wow.
Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, or somebody like that.
And what's her name? Cardi B?
Yeah. They might bring her out to do the same thing. Because they're going to use her for the young people.
Well, they got to use her because they've already paid her. And they got to get something out of her. But she's a complete dimwit.
But she got another woman with her name Zukiana. And they say that real niggas love hood red bees. That's what they saying. That's what they saying,
Okay.
But they are. This is what they are actually saying. You know, a lot of other stuff I ain't trying to get to all the song.
Well, yeah, we're not going there. Yeah,
But what I am saying that you would think, and they brought her to a school in I think St. Louis or something. She gave out some gear or something.
Yeah, like St. Louis County is where she grew up.
Yeah, but they brought her to school. But we go out and stuff, and you see. But then it depends on where you at, what circle you in, or where you at. But there's a lot of women that say they love that woman. They say she's a form of self-expression. I said, no, ain't no self-expression. This is just some crazy lunatic mess.
Yeah, and that's listen, let me tell you something. I was in the music industry for several years in my young life and my young adult life, early before having children. And then after having kids, obviously I was in the gospel arena, which is all to me the same exact arena. There's no difference. There's no delineative line. And it is very easy to create a persona. It is very easy to create by, your team. Your team has the ability to create you. I don't know whether people know that, but you generally will have a team and they'll give you a nickname. They'll give you a this, they'll give you a that. They'll do all of this. They'll even, decide what kind of clothing you're going to wear, what genre you're from, what genre your clothing is, what type of speech you should have. They do that so that they can market you to a specific group of people. This chick right here, she's a piece of work. She's completely a piece of work. And I here's her Wikipedia. Of course, their Wikipedia is what they build. Now, if that's not, she's got the glasses. Why? There's a message there. She got the glasses, big, sexy, and looks like some jewelry that she got from, I don't know, Fashion Nova or something. I don't know. Her real name is Janae Nairi Weary, born April 15th, tax day, 1998. St. Louis, Missouri, genre hip hop and trap. Occupations, rapper and a songwriter. Years active 2018 to now. Labels, Open Shift and J Rebel. Don't know who those are. But I'm sure that if I looked up those companies, I would find some people that are unique. So let's just look those people up. She's got 2 record labels here. Let's just look it up, shall we? I want to look this up because to me, I want to know who you really are and who they want you to really be after. Now she's got the glasses, so that's going to give you that intellectual look. Not that all people who wear glasses are intellectual, but of course it's going to sort of soften the blow when they're doing the things that they're doing, as far as being able to attack the people that they want to get to. Let's see. It doesn't show anything there. That may be something to somebody, but that's nothing to me. J Rebel. Don't know what that is. What is that? Don't know what that is. Is that a person? J Rebel Profiles. Let's look and see. Don't care. That's not them. That's not. Who is J Rebel? Does anybody out here know? Anybody?
BJ, look it up, BJ.
Maybe it's her
BJ, look it up.
Oh, I never heard of J Rebel. I can talk to my boy Spice. I could talk to my boy Stice, man, and see, because he was kind of did a little bit in music, hip hop, so, and he's out of the St. Louis, Illinois area, so.
Okay.
But the thing is, you guys, they create.
He's in the chat. He should be in the chat unless he went to sleep.
They create these
people. Picture out a clown face. He's in the chat probably.
They create these people. These people are propped up, man. They you know what I'm saying? And she just came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, so she take a picture with billionaires. All of a sudden, she's at these football games and living lavish and got this swap meet looking jewelry on, and you know what I'm saying? Supposed to be a blood. I guess she's supposed to be a gang member to a blood or something. It's just, and it's just all studio gangster stuff. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, you know what I'm saying? It's just to appeal to people on the street, to really make it seem like she has some kind of clear clout. It's just, man, I mean, honestly, but we fall for this type of stuff, though. People, we on this chat, we already know, our minds are already open to this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, a lot of people that look like us, this is the type of stuff that they feed into. This is the type of more entertainment. You see what I'm saying? Instead of education, or just just having a little bit of knowledge, or just doing a little bit of research on something, or reading a book. No, we just straight up entertainment.
We want to do entertainment. That's why we at the bottom, and we just keep staying at the bottom because we won't read and research and learn nothing. But that if you look at her, like I look at people and study people, two things. It's a lot of things. How are you red, girl? I'm red. Miss Lockhart red. Remember they called Yellowbone red? That's what that means. Not her. See this is how they messing you up. Then she got big sexy. Baby, you ain't voluptuous behind there. I don't even know if your breast's real. That may be fake too. Another thing I noticed about her, just like that gorilla play, and I told BJ and Chaq, I said, that's a man. Because when I looked at the video, everybody, twerking, you see them got on the little, skimpy stuff. Like gorilla, she kept having like covering up her middle part area. I said, that's a man. I said, look how she talking. That's a man. They just said
the shoulders,
so-called
the torso,
all of that. They just said Sexy Red looked like a young thug. So I watched that video Shaq sent me with the Lotto lady. Now Lotto all that showing her butt off and all other people. Sexy Red, you still got on pants. Why this person, I should say, you keep wearing pants all the time? See, I gotta, and even what you had on the BET, okay, I can see they probably taped it and you had on a little skirt. It's just not adding up. And then that Lotto video with the eggplant thing, the most provocative it got was just had on like this purple thing, and but you couldn't see really the middle area down there, if you know what I mean. Y'all better look at all this stuff. See, you gotta study and look at this stuff. Then the picture that BJ sent me with her taking with the player of the Jets, I say, BJ, wait a minute. Now, when I went to high school and middle school, this thing is knock needed. You get no play being knock needed. No offense to the knock-knee people, but everybody cracked on the knock-kneed person. They was the butt of every joke. And you mean to tell me this knock-knee person, this is who y'all, it's like Frank said, these people are plants. This person, not even appealing, it's not attractive, not appealing at all.
Oh, Lord, these things are ugly.
Pay attention, y'all.
I can't.
What you looking at, Ms. Lockhart?
Oh, some song called Hood Rats.
That's
that's it.
That's what you said, right? Yeah or no?
She's got on
that's the one I sent you.
She's got on the flag on her body. She's wearing the underwear that look like the flag. You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start flagging those. I'm gonna start flagging.
Well, I always comment and get on them on
they shot that video outside of Planned Parenthood. Can you hear me?
What? You say?
I think they shot that video outside of Planned Parenthood, if I'm not mistaken. The one you looking at, Ms. Lockhart.
One of them Popeye.
A lot of these things are rituals.
Popeye.
A lot of these things are rituals. And they do these rituals, and they do it specifically because this is who they are. Miss Tree One, it's great to see you, precious. And even to your point, Miss Tree One, you guys saw Camel Toe dancing the other day. Didn't you guys see that at the barbecue cookout type thing? It's like they placate and it ruins. Listen, they kowtow, they placate to the melanated people, and then they expect for everybody to follow that because, like I said before, if you don't, then you're racist. So if you say something about that billionaire being there with her, okay, knowing good and well that even decent people, billionaires, don't just come up and stand up and take a picture with them that are just in the industry, right? Just a regular decent person. They don't have time for that. But anytime you see this type of activity take place, excuse me, and then you know that she's standing there with a billionaire, that tells you that his buddy, who happens to be another billionaire, has said, man, look here, I got a young lady, she's going to be coming out there, just stand there with her, I'll take some pictures of her, and she's going to have some money in her hands, and just take a picture with her. They're trying to validate that individual. And the sad part is No, it's not sad, because right now there are a lot of people that's speaking up against this particular character, this actor that they've created. And that's what we've got to do every single time that they create these individuals that they utilize to basically tie every other American's hands. We need to speak up. You're not going to use another culture. Use somebody else. Don't mess with us no more. Is what we need to be saying.
Well, it's drying up, Miss Lockhart, because you see how they usher them in and they all fading out.
Because they know we're not going for it no more.
Big body Lizzo, you done. Cardi B and Nicki Minaj, y'all been done. Kim Kardashian, y'all done. So when you was done, you tried to latch on to Ice Spice and have your daughter also to latch on to Ice. See how they keep ushering in with Ice Spice? Because she looked like a trailer park, somebody from the trailer park trailer park. That didn't work. Then they come around with the gorilla. People probably thought like me, oh, that's a man, that's a trans. That ain't work. So now see, it's not we winning, y'all. I'm telling you, we win. Now here they come with this so-called person, Sexy Red. Okay.
They got me laughing.
Well, what is this
You see how
resemblance
they
of,
cycling them so fast?
It's like Chris
can't
Paul.
stay around.
Like Chris Paul with a wig on.
Oh, wow.
But what is this resemblance of, though?
Oh, wow.
Right?
They got me
Because
laughing.
first, who did they attack first? The men, right? Did they not do this with the men first with the gangster rap, aka Tupac? But they couldn't control him. But guess what? The symbolic imagery still went out there to be a thug with the shirt off with the tattoos, but not the knowledge behind of the revolutionary thing that he was trying to do. He went into the matrix to try to pull you out, but they took him out and left the imagery of him.
But you know what? I even think he was an actor.
Yes, I believe.
Yeah.
I believe that. I believe we have something in our mind called the I don't want to say the hypothalamus, or maybe somebody say the
hypothalamus.
The hypothalamus, or what's the other one? The pineal. The
pineal gland.
Well, we can, men or the women, melanated men and women, depending on how calcified it is, can shake out of that program and wake up from that program, right? And you know what I'm saying?
I do. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
You have that ability to snap out of it.
Yep.
That's why they got to keep, like y'all said, handlers around certain so-called MK mind control, certain symbolic imagery, certain code words, or what's they use for when they hypnotize somebody? What they call it?
Oh,
safe words or
yeah. They use those words to snap them back into it and out of it. Yeah. You know, did you guys see what happened with the guy and the Schumer? Was it Chuck Schumer? Well, no, not Chuck Schumer. It was the other one, McConnell, when the lady tapped his elbow and he zapped out. Did you guys see that? He was talking and running his mouth. She hit his elbow and then he was like sitting there. And all she had to do was tap him again and he can come back. Did you guys see that?
See what I'm saying?
See what I'm saying? There you go, right there.
Yeah.
Right. Did y'all see the man who found a clone of himself?
What?
Yeah, I saw that, Dawson. That was like the AI robot thing in the charges.
Send it to Miss Lockhart so she can play it. He had said he been, and then BJ remember BJ, you just so happened to see the people that were at the football game that was cloned, but I told people
they should have walked out the stadium.
Correct.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you talking about the AI people that were in the audience? They had all the AI people. Yeah, at the football game.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
I saw that.
Okay.
Yeah, they all had the little things on their heads or whatever, and they were sitting in the same color suits, and they were sort of dime colored or whatever. Not dime colored, but sort of like the same buff color. Yeah. Wow.
But y'all remember what they kept saying when this so-called CB-19 was going on? They was trying to test you to go up, like you stated, Chaq, way up to your pioneer game. Now, I'm a nurse. We ain't never went up in nobody that far with no Q-tip. We swabbed in a part of your nostrils and that's it, because you don't want to deviate nobody's septum, right? You don't want to. You don't want to crack. It's another part of the sinus where you can crack, and the sinus fluid can leak into you. You can cause massive headaches, get infected real bad, and it can leak into your your brain fluid. But anyway, they that's what they were saying. They was actually also collecting our DNA. The same reason 23andMe and Ancestry.com got sued because they were lying, telling you they was bringing up your lineage, but they were actually collecting your DNA for we know what, right? Cloning. So that's what. So we got to pay attention to that. So I was telling people, man, don't take that test. If you do, just take the one where you spit in the cup. And people like, well, I didn't see that. Yeah, they had it. They had it. When me and my son traveled with his mom, and that's all we kind of, we spit in the cup. But yeah, and now what's going on? Everybody, I'm not offending nobody who had to take that, Frank said, the candy bar. I'm getting calls from people, because I'm in the medical field, of course, from people outside sources in the community. Guess what's going on now? They ain't telling y'all. Everybody who took the candy bar, they keep coming up positive for the virus now. They testing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. They keep coming up positive. They can't even come back to work. They can't do nothing. The doctors ain't treating them. I had to guide a lady the other day about what to do, right? All of them keep coming up positive, and they keep coming up sicker, being affected with whatever this so-called new strain out here. Not the other people who not. The other people not, if they do, they get mild symptoms, but the ones who get into the worst are them. So when we think about putting things in our body, we need to kind of just rethink that a little bit more. And if people were smart, you would have told your job, hold on, when you hired me, say if you account executive, I'm going to just use that, account executive. My thing would have been, wait a minute, when I got hired for this job, you never asked for my vaccine record.
HIPAA.
Yeah,
right.
well,
So
that's what
how
happened.
You gonna force me to take something that's been experimented? I don't know the side effects. I mean, Tylenol got side effects. Everybody can't take Tylenol.
Come on now.
So you mean to tell me this works for everybody? Everybody?
Everybody?
And no side effects?
Hey, look,
I'll leave that there.
You know what? You know what? It's kind of funny that you saying that because Ms. Lockett, I had sent you 2 videos.
I got them right now. I'm pulling it up right now.
The governor of New York. Now, I'm not gonna comment too much on it because we got to use the word candy bar, but you got to listen to what she said. She said this is new and improved. This is a new and improved candy bar. So don't matter if you took the last one or not. Just make sure you take this one. She said don't talk about the last one. She said that won't protect you. Make sure you take this one. This is a new and improved, updated.
I don't even want to talk about it. You know why I don't want to talk about it? Because remember we were talking about when it first came out, when this first whole new set of stuff came out, because I was like, I did all my time telling people, don't mess with this and don't do this and you guys stop and be smart and all that other stuff. And then what happened? People don't care. They just go out and do whatever they want to do. But here's the thing that you were talking about. It's right here. This is what you said about the gentleman who said, what? Hey, wait a minute. That's me. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see how to do this right here. Hold on. How do I go back on a computer? Oh, go there. Maybe go here. Maybe that'll give it to me at the beginning. Wait a minute. Okay, so this is the guy. This is the guy?
Yeah, that's him. That's the guy.
Okay. Let me see if I can figure out a way to start him again. Does it go really long? How come I can't? Oh, because it's a TikTok? Okay, well, let me see if it'll start again. Okay, here.
Increase the volume.
Can y'all hear that? I can't hear that.
I can't hear it. I can't
Can you hear it
That's
now?
Queen Amidala Shakur, right?
Yeah. Did you hit the unmute button on the video?
I think I
Because
may
it's
have
not.
jacked something up. Hold on.
Okay.
Well, so.
But yeah, you could
Can
get
you
it
hear it
fixed.
now? Okay, hold on, you guys. Let me do this. Present, share, share my audio, then go to my window, then go here, then share it again. Can you hear her?
I can't hear.
You
No,
cannot.
The problem is,
Did you hit the unmute button at the bottom? Maybe.
But the problem is, Ms. Lockhart, the video is probably on mute on her on the video on the Instagram video is probably unmuted. The mic is probably muted, so you probably actually got to tap the mute mic.
It's
from
unmuted.
The actual source.
See it?
Okay.
Tap it again and unmute it again.
Now that's muted. That's unmuted.
Okay, it's unmuted. I see it.
Yeah, that is weird.
Can you hear it?
Wow. Nope.
No, I can't hear. I can play it on my phone. So you can have the audio.
Yeah, maybe she could play the video, BJ, and then you just play it on your phone.
I'm gonna play it on my phone. I got it, y'all.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull it up. Okay, so let me pull this up. Okay. Can you guys hear that?
Anyway, with that all being said, everyone draw your own conclusions. And TikTok, this is purely satire, and absolutely none of it's true. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Ahmadai Shakur. A man claims to have found a replica of himself. Let's get into it.
Hold on, let me pull it up and see if we can see the video itself. You can see him.
There's damn near 1,000 people at a time. Every time I go live, it's almost 1,000 people watching this, and they want to know what's going on. I'm telling y'all, bro. I don't care if I gotta go live every day to expose these folks. They done got.
There you go. It keeps cutting it off.
They messing with it. Yeah, they messing with it. Then.
So here's what we're gonna do.
They messing with it. Yeah.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna play it. Yep, we're gonna just leave it alone.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. Let's just say this, okay? The deal that we're gonna talk about is this. We already know that all this stuff is going on, right? The deal is that what do each one of us do in our own community, in our own neighborhoods that are separate from where we are right now in this, little cubby that we're in together? What is our responsibility to do? Our responsibility, possibly, and this is the way that I've resolved everything, I just deal with mine. And I hate to be that person. I wasn't that chick. Until 2020 hit. 2019, 2020. Ringing the alarm into all the people that I knew. Ringing the bell, standing on the ledge and telling everybody. This time, I'm not doing anything because I believe that there's been enough information thrown up against the wall from people other than me right now that's proving over and over again, all the way down to people rescinding things that they said back then now, right? Here's the skinny. Sad part is, because people are not falling for their new tricks, they're going to have to use even stronger tactics and measures. They may have had, A through Z in their Felix bag of tricks. Now, they were only at level A. Then they went to level B. They were supposed to be on level C, but because nobody believes them or wants to come to their reindeer games anymore, they're just going to go on ahead full Monty and send it out to level Z. Why? Because people aren't falling for it. So what I'm going to say is this. Be cognizant that level Z means that they're desperate. Watch your heart with all due diligence. Watch your ear gates, your eye gates. Watch everything around you. Be careful. You just might need one of these now because they seem to have something to lose. The goal has been to shut down the puppy really tight before 2024. Shut the puppy down. Now, they may not be able to use the same tactic they wanted to shut the puppy down. So if that's the case, that means that they're desperate. And these things that you see here, don't think that they're strange. None of this is strange. Think it not strange. All of this stuff can happen, will happen, and we already know we're dealing with a group of individuals. I won't say people. but a group of individuals who can pretty much do what they want because this is theirs. That's the sad part. We always keep forgetting that this is their realm. This is their realm. Why? Because the cat that's running it is their leader. Period. Why do you think so much evil abounds? Why do you think so much wickedness abounds? Take care of yourself, take care of your families, take care of those who care about you and those you care about, because in a minute, speaking up and telling people everything you think that they should do is going to cause you some real harm, because you're dealing with desperate entities. Use the spirit of discernment. Use the spirit and wisdom that you have to know when to speak, when not to speak. You got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them. You got to know when to walk away and know when to run. I'm just giving you some wisdom. I'm just giving some wisdom.
I'm going to say something.
Go ahead. Say something.
I like that premise, actually, because you know what? It is getting to the point of like that, because when you see it, man, I'm like, it's kind of like, are you really going to fall for this game again? And then it's like, okay. So, and you could, these people that don't know could be deputized against you. And that's not a pretty picture. That's not a pretty picture. They get deputized against you. So, because they could get it, they got the climate corpse. They could use this corpse for that, the candy bar corpse. You don't know how they gonna come with this thing. Like you said, A to Z. And somebody can just pull the plug on the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying, and that is that if we didn't learn anything from the last test, we should have learned exactly the way that things are going. Listen, we already know who well, for those of us who know where our hope is and who it's hidden in, then we already know the name of the game. Why? Because we already know this stuff is going on. And if we know that we know this stuff's going to go on, we got to be as wise as a serpent and as harmless as a dove. And again, I'm going to say this, sometimes preaching to the masses ain't necessarily what is needed, because a lot of these folks will want to be deceived. And I hate to say it like that. That's why I say take care of you and your own. Take care. And I hate to be that chick, because before I wasn't that chick. I was totally this person that didn't believe in my four and no more. It was just, I don't believe that that's nice, my four and no more. But now I understand it. I understand it. I have no doubt in my heart and in my mind that you were called to do what you did the last 3 years. And when you saw what you saw, the same way as it was a test for them, they have already gathered their data and their information based on said test. That was a test for you. And because it was a test for you, and you saw exactly how many people turned their backs on you, how many people left you alone, how many people did not believe you, how many people wanted to trust what they believed as a little science project, in school with a little beaker and all that other stuff. All these people wanted to do their thing, and they did. And that was the same test it was for you to pass. Did you get an A? Did you get a B? Did you get a C? What did you get at that test? Okay, did you get a D? What did you get when you did that test? If you realize what you got when you did that test, you need to understand that this right here, this is that on steroids, ad nauseum 2.0. Hey, hate to tell you, but if you understand that they were now collecting all their data, you should have collected yours too. You should have saw how many people stopped dealing with you, stopped talking to you, cut you off, wouldn't allow you to come to none of the reindeer games, none of their dinners, their family events, none of that. Remember all of that, and don't tell them people nothing this time, because they trusted their science projects.
Well, they're going to be running back to you, Miss Lockhart.
They're going to run, and I don't have nothing to say. I'm going to do just like this.
All of them run back. Now, what did you say? What happened again?
Oh, wow.
What did you say I need to get and do for that? What did you say? I'm just saying this is what I'm experiencing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Won't say they wrong. Won't say they attack you. So we got to understand what the test did. This was the assignment, like you say, the test.
It was an assignment.
This was deeper than this. And I'll be listening, and and that's why I say we need to get news from all media sources, not just people who look like us, but I mean, even across the globe and other
even
countries,
across the globe.
We need to start broadening our reach, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was listening to a call-in show, but I kept telling people, I say this thing is a problem. So let me tell y'all how. This divided up families. Oh, you ain't got the, like you say, the candy bar. You can't come over and visit me, ma, or whatever. You can't come visit, okay? So I'm ostracized. We've been close. You done borrowed money from me. I took care of you, looked out for you, but because I don't have this, I'm just ostracized from the family, okay? 2, it broke up relationships, whether boyfriends or marriages, because one spouse wanted to take it, the other one didn't. Then they start finding out about shedding, right? So the other spouse say, oh, no, I'm finna really go and divorce you or leave you alone.
Well, girl, you know what? I had my hair. Hold on. Listen, follow me closely. I had my hair and I did it and I started shedding so much hair. I started shedding so much hair because I made a mistake and I put a relaxer on top of color. And then I started to shedding a lot of hair. You mean shedding like that? Shedding?
That type of shedding, correct.
Yeah, it was terrible shedding. My hair was falling out everywhere. Oh, my goodness. I had hair on the pillow. Girl, go ahead. I had hair everywhere.
I know. I had that same effect before, too, as well. So, yes, you are correct. But what even at the schools, the chaos it caused for the kids who weren't able to learn because they couldn't actually see especially younger youth, the pre-K, kindergarten, K3, they supposed to be learning phonics, right? Sounds, words. You can't even see your students, the teacher mouth move because it's covered with a certain device across their face.
Mm-hmm.
The same with that. So I don't think we looked at the whole big picture. And now what are we dealing with now? Family members who have a disability because of this. Family members who they don't know how they passed away. They just saw them the other day. They looked healthy and okay. Now they just fell out and they gone. Right?
Just all of a sudden. Suddenly.
All of a sudden, this started to happen. And now you got the insurance companies looking at it too. Now, wait a minute, hold on. My young people, where I make the bulk of my money from, who are insured, I'm losing them now. I'm losing money. Wait a minute now, hold on. Now, y'all not finna break us down. Now, it's really finna be a war. Because we the money. Because we know insurance is the money. A lot of people don't know that, but the wealthy do. And people who understand what it can do for you. They looking at it now, wait a minute, I'm losing. I expect it because it's on mortality. So you get something when you're 25, they expecting you to at least leave at 65 or 70. Look at all that money they've accumulated. You mean I got a 25-year-old, now they gone at 26 now? All of a sudden? And I got 30% of these cases on my books now, and don't nobody know what happened? So they even finna start cracking down and say, hey, if you had this within the last passes, they're not finna cover you. Or
that was going on a year ago.
Cost of your premium. They'll raise the cost of your premium because you were rich.
Yeah. That was going on not long ago.
I was just putting that out there as looking at the big. Look what's going on now. Like, I know for me, I'm paranoid. Because I'm like, dude, did you take that, you took that jab? You took that? Oh, yeah, I'm good, buddy. I'm good.
We got to talk about the elephant in the room, too, now.
As long as the elephant in the room, is not something that's going to flag something. As long as it ain't that, we can chat all about Fatty. We have said as long as the elephant in the room is not something that's going to get the channel flagged, then yeah, we can talk about the fat thing, the fat elephant. What is the fat elephant? Tell us all about it.
Okay, who just we're gonna talk about?
Go ahead.
Not the brother, the other brother from another mother that just pleaded in Miami, down in Florida. You know what I'm talking about?
No, what are you talking about?
Brother Polite?
Brother Polite? Yeah. Nope, don't want to deal with Brother Polite. Right now, let me tell you why I don't want to know. Why I don't want to deal with it. Because not a lot of people in this sector know who he is. There are some who do, but there are some who do not. And we would have to break his whole thing down, break it all down like a fraction so that everybody would understand it. But between you, me, the goalpost, and everybody here.
But Chaq, he was a plant, Chaq. He was a plant, Chaq.
All day.
All right.
All day. All day.
Yeah, you got. I mean, I'm gonna keep it real with you. You got to watch out for like, not. I mean, that little Sonetta camp. Some of them dudes, man. I don't really. I used to watch it, and I just peeped a lot of that. See, they're selling. A lot of them are selling. They know that, you know what I'm saying. There's not really. They try to push a spirituality thing, but it's really a lot of times they're really pushing like a more of a religious thing and stuff, and they know that we get caught up into that. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know, man. But that whole Sonata camp, a lot of them I'm not really feeling. A lot of them I think are plants. A lot of them, he just, I mean, he used to be pushing some, a different kind of little swag, and now all of a sudden, then he started trying to be like a media figure, like, and then Lamborghinis with the little European, I don't know, it's just, with the little models, and then he tried to shock everybody with the polygamy thing. Oh, he had like 10 wives or 6 wives, or it's just like, I don't know, man. Polite is, he was black.
Plant.
He was a plant. A lot of them are plants. That's all I got to say.
But that was to break up the conscious movement, though, right? To infiltrate that movement, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what that was. It was
like hip hop.
Yeah, just the same. But it was people trying to get him to talk with the elders, and he never would talk with the elders.
Because he knew the elders are going to smell that mess.
There you go.
They're going to smell that mess. They're going to look in your eyes and see straight through you, and he couldn't have handled that. You know what I'm saying? That to me, we have so many individuals that are plants in our community, and we that are melanated know for a fact that when we sit back and just watch that person, that check in our gut that tell us something ain't right about that person, we're generally right. But the way that he went down, and then did you hear the audio of the mom?
Yep. Can y'all hear me?
No, I did not. Shaq, you heard it?
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I heard the audio of the mom. She gave a statement at the hearing, for him accepting the plea. Now, remember, his team pleaded. You know what I'm saying? They went to state, didn't offer him a plea deal. They constructed their own plea deal and offered it up to the state. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's different.
Because if he'd went with the charges that he was getting charged with, if he'd went to trial and got convicted, he was standing to face 60-something plus years.
Oh, interesting.
Very interesting.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't know that. Well, yeah, I mean, I've experienced it a lot in the community. That's why I would do my own thing, and I dealt more with the youth and trying to educate those parents. I've had a better following that versus the people who've been in our community for years, say they 60, 70, 80 years old. And it's like my uncle and my own dad said, you ain't going to get nowhere with them because all they want to do is argue, fuss, and cause division. And you can't trust them anyway because like we talking about now, they plants as well. So they'll be, oh, yeah, they the same one running back telling the other side everything. I've just had to break up a relationship with this group, my friend, and she want me to be a part. I say, girl, I'm not being a part of none of that. All them people you got that you didn't, they all snakes in the grass, and they been selling out our community. You new to this. I'm true to this. I've been in this. Okay? I know how these things. You smell them and see them from a mile away, and I got good discernment. I'm a Scorpio. We very observative. I got good discernment. And then I know, and you got to have a network of people you can connect with. See, we keep losing, we not bridging the gap. But luckily, I was lucky to be mentored by somebody who's been in politics, who's older, who know the real people, who know the fake people. So I've been lucky to do that, and I've got a lot further with my advocacy, listening to them and strategizing the way they tell me. But also looking out for the people who you think for you, who ain't really for you. So that's how we also keep using, like Fanny, the mammy in Atlanta. Her career is over. Okay, big boy, big papa,
I
big
said
boy.
that earlier.
Big papa, big boy up there in New York. His career is over. It's over.
You talking about Eric?
That mom and that daughter in Georgia with the, we going on, you know, something ain't right with them ballots. I'm gonna leave that like that. They life is, oh, you're gonna keep getting threats. You're gonna keep, and these people don't even, the lady in Chicago we talking about this, they don't even think about their family.
They don't.
Sell your soul. Even, I say the Bible
and these people don't care about them. They gonna leave them right there.
Soul. Well, look what they did with what's his name, BJ, the one that ran in Florida, Bush's boy. What they dropped him. He got fed charges now. Bussy boy, Gillen.
Marilyn Mosby.
Andrew Gillen. Look how they did him. See, when they done with you and you know more effective, even the boy polite. When they done with you, you know more effective. You hanging out on them. Fanny career, their careers is over. But if it's worth it, you planning to that, hey, that's you. But I keep saying, where's these people, family members, friends, who saying, don't do that. You might want to.
They not telling them. They just like, ooh, look at you.
Yeah,
you just getting on up there, girl.
Yeah. Liberals themselves, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know
that's all they are.
You right. But they'll be low self-esteem people that ain't been.
But they don't even know they got low self-esteem.
They have it because
they don't even
remember, low self-esteem people always look for recognition and power because they never got it when they was growing up. They never got it. They never. You know what? Rick Ross said that. I admit that I'm a man who messed with a lot of women because I didn't get that attention when I was in school. So I'm getting it now. At least he admitted it.
At least he admitted.
Right.
Hey, we can tie that to the same energy like these polite guys. These guys they get a little bit of celebritism and then they become they may have the monster trait in them all along, but they don't have. They
always got that trait in them.
They got the trait in them, but they don't have the accent.
Yeah.
You know, because and the reason I brought up because we're going to get just like we got with Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, Mdoka. We just got this this black melanated guy from Menard, the Michigan State, Michigan State football coach, Mel Tucker. Who else we got with the sexual stuff? That with somebody else just got accused. Let me see who else.
There's a lot of them that are getting accused.
A list of them, man.
A whole list of them. But you know what? They all signed up for that. And I'm going to say that there's levels to this. And the levels to this, and Ronnie has here Billy Carson also. Well, now he just changed about last year. I remember when he changed and I was like, someone right. I was like, yep, not listening to him anymore. But and then all of his artifacts looked like new artifacts that had old fuzz on them, if that makes any sense. But
hold on, Billy Carson, the one cat to do the talking about the Anunnaki and stuff like that. Man, that nigga look like a new dude. He look like he got chiseled. He look like a new dude. His face
look like a brand new dude. Look at his eyes. Eyes look new. Everything look new.
Right.
He ain't the same dude.
Oh, I know who y'all talking about. They been saying that about him. He may have been clown. Oh,
he may. But you know what I heard? But what I heard was it wasn't even. I heard that when you're up in a certain level where you have certain types of power, that it's a different type of cat that they allow to come on the scene. It ain't like the regular ones. It's like the high power ones. It's not like just a standard ABC or a Kmart or a Zodi's clone. No, you get the MZ1000. Yeah, they get the.
But you know what?
Yeah, they were going in on social media about that with him.
You know what? He did Black Magic 360, right? He used to be on there, right, a lot. Like,
he used to be.
And he talked about the story, like when he was sick. He was really, like, he told me it was just bad. Like, it was fluids and stuff was coming from him. And he correct that. Now I don't know what he did, the herbs he took, or whoever pulled him to the side. You know what I'm saying? And voila, got the new course meal.
Let me bring up something.
But I always look at them eyes. See, I always
the
look
eyes
at them
always tell the
eyes.
truth.
Them, I always tell you, remember the eyes is the heart of to the soul.
The eyes know.
Correct. Look through them eyes. That tell you what's in that soul. I'm sorry, BJ.
No, you good. You good. I would want to bring up something that y'all were talking about all this, like Dawson was talking about earlier, follow the money and stuff like that. And, you know, Fannie Willis, Fannie the Mammy and all that. Well, guess what? We got a mayor down here in Richmond. I guess he playing his own extension with the dumb stuff he talking.
What?
You know what this fool said? This fool,
what?
Name's Stoney, right? Oh my goodness. Check this out, man. You can laugh.
Tell us about Stoney. Dun, dun, dun.
Like, so they had last year, they brought, last year. It might have been 2021, might have been last year. They had Shopton down here. You know, he was talking about trying to build a casino, you know, it's sponsored by Kathy Hughes and stuff like that. They tried to put it on the ballot. They didn't get it. So now he comes back this year talking about vote for a casino. This time, though, they got white people. I'm like, But he basically trying to threaten citizens like, hey, look, if you don't vote for the casino, how are we going to keep the tax revenue down? So he basically saying, you don't vote for the casino, we're going to raise the taxes. I'm like, what the hell kind of crazy mess is this, man? I said, you got to be a nut. And guess what? He's trying to run for governor.
He's probably going to make it if he's the right kind of cat. If he got the right people in his pocket or the right people put him where he is, he's probably going to make it.
Making all these damn bike lanes and stuff, all this other crazy nonsense. But look,
we got them bike lanes in Los Angeles too.
Churchill, Richmond, have become roundabout city. That shit, I'm like, God damn.
Watch his language. Remember, we already had one cat that doesn't miss the language.
But yeah, roundabout city. But I'm just saying that I'm like, look, the people saying they don't want the casino. They trying to basically bash the casino down your throat.
And that's not cool. If the people are saying that they don't want it, they're the people of that community, right?
It got voted down 2 years ago. Now they're trying to come back with a new face. They couldn't get it when they brought Shopton and Kathy Hughes and them down here and everybody else to put it down here. And then think about it. Shopton say, yeah, Reverend, why he endorsing the casino? Ding, ding.
Well, Reverend Porkchop.
But now they trying to get white faces on it. But they also trying to make one in Petersburg, Virginia. But they already got one in Danville, Bristol, and I think they got one. But they've been building them all over. They got one called Rivers Casino down there in Portsmouth now. And that's owned by, I think, is it Pakistani tribe or something like that? I haven't even been there. But they got one out there.
Pakistani tribe? A Pakistani tribe?
Yeah, I think it's a Pakistani tribe or something like that.
Whoa, wait a minute. You mean from over there in like India,
Man,
Delhi?
Look,
How did they create a Pakistani tribe here?
They had one trying to come down here. I don't know if that's River Casino, but they had one.
That's going to be a hot rump mess. How do you just all of a sudden, okay, now you know what I'm going to tell you.
I'm just going to say this.
We are very much Indian.
Have been trying to get, they got Rosie's, which is more like a gaming form. They got slots. And they look, all you got to do is go in any convenience store in Richmond. Pick one. I mean, I can take you to about 10 of them. Guess what they got? They got some of them got 5 machines in there. You be seeing people come on the street just in there playing the little slot stuff. That's a guy. But guess what? When they were trying to get this other casino, they told them during the time they were trying to get it, y'all can't use the slot machines because they were trying to make sure people couldn't go in there and play because they were trying to get the casino. But once they didn't get the vote for the casino, they told y'all to go for the slot machines back up again. Man, them dads standing down here with some kind of man in them damn stove. And they said, man, y'all cut my money off. Man, the guy said he make enough money in a month. He make almost as much in a month as he do on gas at this daggone stove. He said people come and play these slot machines in the morning all night long. And he said they open 24 hours.
Wow. So they're not legal at this point. They just have them in the.
They got them. I mean, it's like,
but they're not legal.
they don't call it gambling. They call it like gaming.
Okay, so you're just like putting your money in the machine to take like goods out of the store?
No,
Like you can buy soap.
You might win some money. Like Roses, I think somebody won like 30,000 one time. Somebody won like 80, something like that. But Roses, they got one in New Kent, and Roses is interesting. Roses actually has one of them that actually has. You can actually go watch horse races in the back too. The one in New Kent, you can watch horse races too.
Okay.
But it's let's put it this way. I think they made $70 million in the first year.
What?
So is this the gambling and betting spots, right?
This is the gambling that's actually in a little convenience store?
Gas station store, BJ?
No. Those slots and gas and Roses is like they call it a gaming euphorium. It's like a they call it gaming. You play slots, but that's all they have. They don't have like blackjack and stuff like that. There's other one called Rivers down there in Portsmouth. They got blackjack and they got all that. But this one called Roses is more like they call it a gaming euphorium with slots and stuff. They use that as a term, gaming, to get around so-called
actual
gaming. Yeah.
Ronnie says they need the indigenous permission for a casino in Virginia.
Who that would be? The Palatine?
So what are they doing? So they're going around it.
That would be us, wouldn't it?
Useless Knowledge says, Felicia, a lot of gaming places have been getting busted for paying out money under the table. That's what I thought. It was like,
that's what I thought.
Yeah, because I know that in Georgia, they went through there and tore a whole lot of those machines out of the walls, and then just took the money and took the machines and all that other stuff. When I used to live in Georgia, they were doing that, and now I know that they've got them back or whatever. But Ronnie Mann says it's operated by the Lottery Commission, so that's in the state of Virginia, where you guys are.
Yeah, it's operated by them.
Okay.
But see, it's all gambling, Mr. Lockhart.
Absolutely, it's gambling. Trust me, I know.
You can go bet on horse racing at these spots.
Play those little machines.
You probably can put your bets in for these games and shit too. You know what I'm saying? At these spots. You know what I'm saying? But you got the slots though, and people come in and pay these little.
You can't put a bet in for the game because they have the thing on the wall.
Yeah, you got the bets you can put in. Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this. Then what do you think? Do you think that if the people have already spoken and they have decided that that's not the way that they want to go, do you believe that it's going to happen even though those individuals have said no?
Well, let me tell you something. In 2021, they actually put this on a ballot. See, that was the thing. They put it on a ballot.
Okay.
So that was the thing that was very concerning. So they put it on a ballot. And now let me tell you this. Here's the thing with Richmond, Virginia. See, Richmond, Virginia has changed the demographic now. See, they've been building up all these apartment buildings, all these daggone studio condos and all this stuff, right?
Okay.
So they've got a new class of people, quote unquote, young professionals, right?
Oh, okay.
Most of them don't look like us. So guess what?
Okay.
A lot of them and people in other areas of the city voting, older people voting it down. Yeah, the young professionals didn't want it yet because they're moving in, but they might change their mind now because they getting more established now. They bring in. Every time you look around, you see a new apartment complex, new bike lane.
They like that. They like living on top of each other. I can't take it.
Yeah. I'm like, you got some buildings like I'm like, this ain't New York City, but I really tell you something. It's a whole lot of vacant apartments downtown, and they talk about gutting out these. Dominion Energy owns everything right here, almost. Dominion Energy.
You're gonna make them into smart cities.
Hey, look, I think these people are smart wired. You walk downtown, you go there, they don't hardly speak. They ain't going. It's kind of like in their phone. But shout out to people that it's their business if they want to do it. But like I said, I'd be like, man, this is like not how Richmond was. Dominion Energy, the electric company, they get everything. They do the Christmas parade. They have a big holiday, Second Street Festival that's coming up in October. They get everything. So you only got a couple of businesses: Virginia Credit Union, Dominion Energy, and a couple other things. They sponsor everything right here. So basically, they get everything in one. Then VCU runs everything. VCU gets first bid on everything before everybody else.
Wow.
So that's how it works. But what I'm saying is we have a lot of Democratic elements. We got a Republican governor, Youngkin. We got Youngkin, okay? Youngkin won because of that thing that happened. And that thing that happened at the school up there, up there by the Fairfax area, when the guy who they tried to accuse him of domestic terrorism or something because he said his daughter got raped in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Youngkin just pardoned that guy over the last 2 weeks.
Well, do you think that he's a not a whatchamfigure? What do they call him? Do you think that he's like the Republicans that aren't a Republican, but they're really they're like a turncoat? What do they call them?
The only thing I would say about Youngkin, they call him Rhino, but
rhinos.
He's an interesting case because it really doesn't matter if he is or not, because Virginia has a one-term governor policy. You can't be governor more than one term. You can run twice, but you can't run twice. So that's another thing. But I do know he was with the Carlisle group, though.
So
yeah. So I do know that. But he's but he was I will give you this. If we got Terry McAuliffe, they would have had some mandates. Let's put it like that.
Oh wow! Hey, the Watchman, I didn't see you come in. Really?
And look at them. I mean, these liberal policy, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And they, and they'll have a Democratic liberal person that look like us. That's either the mayor or the governor of the state.
You're like with Beetlejuice out there in Chicago before they got rid of her.
And now look at this new cat. He came in on immigration. You see what I'm saying? He came in on we're gonna let him come over here, and now they're pushing in New York, they're pushing for driver's licenses. You know what I'm saying? So
boy.
I mean, it's just like, when is enough gonna be enough, man? But it's
not gonna be enough until we're in a new place, until this whole place is changed and we're all gone.
I mean, maybe I should be saying that, but maybe
that's their idea.
It's definitely a replacement thing. You know what I'm saying? I think for certain groups of people, you know what I'm saying? Mainly us. So, and the thing is, now look, for example, Chicago, they're putting them, I made a video about that. They're putting them in Hyde Park, and Hyde Park is on the south side. That's highly melanated people that look like us are over there, right? Why are they not? And then they're having town hall meetings, and the people are like, nah, we don't want, we don't want this and that. And they're having, Hispanic people that are like, the developers of this whole thing, and you got Black people, politicians and stuff like that, speaking out against the people that are from the community. So I mean, what does that tell you, man? You're supposed to be serving me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not supposed to be serving you. Why they don't put them? They have Mexican communities and Puerto Rican communities in Chicago. Why are they not putting them there? See, I mean, I see people are not asking these questions. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Chicago
I do.
Is not a big city like New York. But I mean, come on now. I mean, it's big enough to be segregated, right?
Yeah.
Y'all want to still push that?
Why, Frank?
What happened?
He said, "Do you know why?"
Yeah, break it down.
They're trying to get rid of your copper color asparagus.
Yeah, asparagus.
They're trying to get rid of. Hey, for real though. Think about it. Look at the mood that's going around though, man. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about indigenous people, right? You're right. Those indigenous people on any landmass supposed to have the say so of what is going on in that particular area. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the Aboriginals in Australia. They told them people, y'all can't do nothing without our saying. And these people got the nerve to be upset at the man because you got people saying, no, you got to go through us to bring in all this stuff and change stuff around. No. But see, they did a great bang-up job of telling us and indoctrinating us and trying to take us psychologically from this landmass that a lot of people ain't. Look here.
They're anesthetized. They're all sort of sleep. Yeah.
We're great in numbers. No matter if we only 13%, they keep saying. Now think about this, Ms. Lockhart. This is always what I think about, right? If they send me on the 13%, right? What is a so-called 13%, aka Black American, so-called African American, colored person, right? In any political position in the United States of America, you only got 13% of the people to represent. How you F that job up? You only got 13% of people to represent. You come from that 13%, right?
And what a number, 13.
There you go.
What a number.
Damn.
Think about
13.
Numbers.
Think about it.
We go with these numbers, man. Just like in these little cases, these little, I don't want to say too much on your channel, but these shootings or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, why is it when these events happen and stuff like that, there's always these crazy numbers that are just so, you know what I'm saying? It's just like so obvious now to the point, because the only thing is the script will change with the people and the suspects and the place in America. But other than that, it'll be like very similar stories, you know what I'm saying? And that's how you know with these numbers, numerology, we really just got to be careful, man. You know what I'm saying? And gematria plays a lot of part into this, a lot of stuff be psyops, man. It's just like, but I think stuff is it is divide and conquer, but I think it's like it is divide and conquer. That's what it is. And it is too, it's to taking they wanted to make it to where it's just no middle class no more. It's just, poor, rich. You see what I'm saying?
Have and have nots.
Have and have nots. It's social engineering. You see what I'm saying? It's predictive programming. They put a lot of stuff in these movies that they're already doing. What's the movie? That's why a lot. Okay, the AIs was in the stands that time because the movie, The Creator. That's a movie that's going to be on what, Netflix or Hulu? See that movie? You see what I'm saying? What's that about, right?
You said Creed?
The Creator.
Creator. Oh, they got something that said jinn. You ever see that?
You mean like the jinn, like the jinn in Islam, the evil one, or the Dajjal, the jinn, the demon,
it's called jinn, or something? But I see it on Instagram. It look like it's a movie they about to come out with, or a TV series or something. You get the you get the ads on when you on YouTube and Instagram and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, jinn.
It's the jinn, like the demons, like jinn, like evil. You mean jinn, like evil in Islam?
I guess so. I just seen it for the first time today.
Okay. The jinn, yeah.
Jinn, yeah.
So that's a movie that's going to be coming out.
Either it's a movie or it's a TV show. Yeah.
Oof, I wouldn't want to.
Next time I see it on Instagram, I'll try to show you. Some of them things they don't let you share.
Yeah, I know.
They slick. But it was an ad,
noticed that.
Like a premiere.
Well, I wanted to bring up this next topic, and that was before we go ahead, talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was called the Puminki Indian tribe. I get it.
Pumunki Indian tribe in Virginia.
Pumunki Indian tribe. That's who was trying to get the casino. That's who's that was built by them.
I thought you meant ding 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 ding. I didn't know.
That was built by them. But but a lot of these Pakistanis don't have the stores with the slots, and that's what it is. So I just had.
But that's the job your boy said he from. You know that, right?
Who?
Chris Brown.
Chris Brown?
Chris Brown?
Yeah. There's a video audio out there when he said he's from the Pamunkey tribe. He's Native American or Indian heritage because he looked it up. Yeah, he's from the Pamunkey tribe. Yeah. You can look that audio up right now.
Oh, that's cool. Is he able? Did they allow him to register? Because they won't allow a lot of us to register, even though we have proof. But they will allow people who have paid, $5 to register. What was her name? The one that Trump used to call Pocahontas. Yeah, pay $5. Pay $5, and you can.
Is it Warren or something?
Yeah, Warren. Yeah, Elizabeth Warren. Yeah, put your name on the list.
Yeah, I don't know if he got any tribal.
Well, I'm sure he does. If he's able to say it and he's got as much money to push around. That's the sad part about it, is that they want to make you believe. Here, I'm gonna keep asking this question. If you had such an issue with the Aborigines, the Aboriginal people from this land, why would you go and allegedly bring all those people, millions of people from another continent? If you had a problem, with the Aborigines here, so much so that you even dealt with the ones that they even transported some of them from here, the children, into Canada to go to school there so that they could be re-educated, right? Why would you? And then they fought them and they killed our people and they did this to us. And all we wanted to do was give them these soft blankets. We just wanted to give them these blankets. What's all we wanted to do? We just wanted to give them some blankets. We wanted them to be warm. We got here. We don't understand what the problem is. So they didn't agree. So what we did is we went and grabbed a few more million people that favored them. They didn't look exactly alike, but they were a little darker, the ones we got. We brought them. But those millions of them. How are you going to justify bringing millions of people from another continent when you say you got issues with the copper-colored people that was from this continent? And none of us asked the questions, and all of us need to be upset. I'm going to say that till the cows come home. I say it. I want everybody, white, black, purple, green, yellow, and orange, to ask, hey, why?
Makes perfect sense.
Why was I taught this? Because it's a programming system. It's a system, and systems work when they all intricately click together. Systems work. You got a vehicle. It's got a coolant system. That system works. Why? Because when it's on and it does what it's supposed to do, when it's working, everything is all fitted and tied together, and you push the button, it's going to get cool, all things being equal. When it doesn't, then it's time to take it away and go get it fixed. But there are systems in place that you learn what they want you to do. To know systematically. White, purple, black, green, yellow, and orange. Everybody need to be upset. We need to ask the questions. Why? Why would you have all of those Aboriginal people in that area, and y'all just came from over there? And the country is a very young country. Okay, we're the youngest country in the Giddy Up. Okay, we are the youngest country. This country is allegedly the youngest country at the shindig.
You said it right, allegedly.
Okay. So if
what's
we the
word,
youngest country, hold on, let me cook. If we're the youngest country at the shindig, and it ain't been that many, but a few hundred years, and you already had all of these people on the grounds, and then you went and got some more people to bring here, why would you do that if you didn't have control? So my question is, here's my question. You ready? Drum roll. Bing! Where all them people go?
Damn.
If all of them folk was covered all over the land, from sea to shining sea, where they go? You can't kill them all off. Y'all ain't that bad. Y'all wasn't running around with Bazooka Joe on your shoulder. Y'all didn't have none of that. There wasn't no DEW. Wasn't none of that. How you get rid of all of them? And then you ran and brought some more? You
Plan
did.
B.
It's
called Plan B.
Okay, you brought some more.
That they're not from there.
But everybody needs to shake it loose and say why. How did that happen? Where did they all? Y'all wasn't that bad, Bazooka Joe. Not when you had cats that was anglers. Not when you had cats that was archers from way back. You had cats that was archers. I mean, these archers wasn't just no run-of-the-mill cats. These was archers.
A different metal forgers. I mean, forgers of metal and iron.
And they knew, and they know that the topography belongs to them. There's so many things that I could point at as far as warfare is concerned that would lead me to believe that you would have the option of finding a long bloody war, even with your gunpowder. I'm sorry. And then to make matters worse, you've got enough time to stop it all, I say, and go to a totally different continent and bring a whole millions more. I rest my case. Next,
don't add up.
Next,
don't add up.
Go on, Chaq.
Don't add up.
Because
like you just said.
The questions.
Hey, first of all, how did you get all them people on the boat to come across the Atlantic? You know what I'm saying? In the time, I'm talking about in the time frame they keep telling you about, because these things is happening in different pockets. Actually, it's still going on now. I mean,
bringing cats with the same.
They're doing it now. They're doing the same thing now. Every so often they do what? They open the doors up, allegedly open up the borders and let so many people come in. You know what I'm saying? So that they've been doing it ever since. You know what I'm saying?
See, they did the same thing in the whole quote unquote Holy Land. They brought in imposters, the quote unquote Holy Land. She up on game. Exactly.
Some people say the Holy Land is Peru.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna continue to ask the questions because, as far as I'm concerned, white, black, purple, yellow, green, and orange, everybody needs to ask the question: how in such a short span of time? See, you got to understand it's time. How? Wait, and the passage of time with time and time. That chick, whoo, talk about change her cartridge. And time in the passage of time. Anyway, if you don't get the joke, you don't get the joke. But let's move on. How much you got? How old is America? Anybody? Anybody? How old is America?
No. Don't say America.
How old is this United States? Not America. How old is the United States?
Well, they say what? It can't be no more than 250 years. But why they keep saying 400 years of slave, man? If the United States want to be it's the youngest, like you said.
Because these cats are old. And listen, let me tell you, they messed around. And after I say this, they're probably gonna get rid of it. But they done messed around and gave some inquisitive black folk, some inquisitive Aborigine folk, some inquisitive white folk, some inquisitive orange folks. They done gave these folks the ability to look in the internet. And before they could zap a whole bunch of information out the internet, they grabbed a whole lot of it and kept it. Some even got some dollars together, some coins and some buckaroonies and asked for FOIAs. Some even not only asked for the FOIAs and wrote in to get the FOIA, some went down there to the Library of Congress and paid for documents to be copied and take the microfiche and turn them into something good with a little bit of gravy. And some of them folks got some pretty decent information now here. See, so now the problem is to try to get all of them people to wake up in enough time to mean something. My question will stand. My question gonna stand, Shaq, Frank, and BJ. My question gonna stand. The question is, how in this short amount of time were you able to get rid of the inhabitants all the way down from Florida, all the way up through Virginia, all the way to Mississippi, all through Louisiana, all up through Colorado, all the way up to all up there? How was you able to get rid of all of them? And you telling us now that they all in the little bitty teepees, all in these little bitty mounds, little bitty teeny tiny mounds when you drive through, when you go through, like, you know, when you go through Arizona, when you go through down there in New Mexico, you mean tell me y'all push them people like that? All them people like that. But you keep telling us we 13%. Like that number. I'm not a triskaidekaphobian, so the number 13 don't rock my boat. It don't scare me. I'm just wondering. I'm just putting it all together.
And the thing is too, look, how they didn't even have ships. They're talking about ships, slave ships. They didn't even have ships until the late 1800s. You know what I'm saying? And they had boats, cargo boats.
Those cargo boats can't do all of that. And we ain't stupid. And then everybody in this room got sense.
And you can't live in, you know what I'm saying? So they're talking about it took like 3 months for a voyage. You can't, another thing too, their numbers keep changing. First they said like 19 million, then they said 6 million, then they go into like 500,000 slaves. It's like, why do they keep changing? Because people keep debunking it. And for 3 2, it's just like, you know, I mean, the thing is, how are you going to stay in your own excrement, your own feces for 3 months?
Well, let's get this. Between 1525 and 1866, in the entire history of the slave trade, the New World, according to the Transatlantic Slave Trade Database, 12.5 million Africans were shipped to the New World. 10.7 million survived the dreaded Middle Passage, disembarking in North America and the Caribbean and South America. 1525 to 1866. Really? And then after that, shortly after the 1866 date, there is a manifest that shows my great Once you see that's one, that's my grandfather, that's my great grandfather, back to the 1800s. It shows him coming 18 something coming through Ellis Island, and he's Irish. Last name King, first name Charles, short Chucky.
You said it. You said the key. They talked about all the Africans that came over, Miss Lockhart. But why they didn't talk about all the Europeans that came over here? Why they
And
not
what
in
were
the
they doing
transatlantic slave
here?
story?
What
Huh?
white, purple, yellow, green, and orange. Everybody need to understand that you had slaves that were Irish. You had slaves that you had people who were coming here who were indentured slaves, and they let me just shut up. But let me just tell you right now: white, purple, yellow, green, orange, whoever you are, you need to be upset. You need to ask some questions. You need to start digging. You need to start doing some true digging. Take off everything you ever knew. Take it all out. Empty it. Get rid of it, because they said 12.5 million. So you got 12.5 million between 1525 and 1866. But yet and still, wasn't you just saying that you had to get rid of everybody that was here because they were savages. They were jumping you guys in the middle of the night. You couldn't do anything. Yeah, these savages all over the place. They had feathers. They had feathers.
They had feathers.
They had feathers. They had feathers. They were plumed. These cats. They were plumed. They had feathers, and you guys were so afraid of them. You had to get rid of them. So you moved them all out of here. You killed a lot of them, and then you moved some, especially their children, that you wanted to re-educate by your own words and own admission into the Canadian area. So much so that the Pope just apologized for how those ones was treated. But nonetheless, you didn't have enough trouble on your hands. Whew. Not only did you not have enough trouble on your hands with all of these people that you was trying to invade their houses, but you brought other people from another continent. Then you allow other people years later to come here other ways through Ellis Island and other places in New York and stuff. But you didn't have nothing to offer them. So you gave them the land of the people that you said was savages. Yeah. Choctaw. I know who they was, baby.
Wow.
I know, y'all. I'm gonna show you the picture of my grandmama. I'm gonna show you my great grandmama, because she wasn't happy standing there with that man. She wasn't happy. She looked pretty ticked. How does she look? How does she look, Frank Nitty? How does she look? You say she looked what?
She definitely looked American Indian, man.
Yeah, and she looked like she was upset, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right.
She wasn't happy because they gave away all of her land that was given to her. They gave it all away to him.
And guess what? We're pretty sure know that this landmass was what? You had to get access to the land through what? The women. The female.
The female.
The female. Yes.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
You had to get access to the landmass through the female, and that is the way you ended up this color.
And see, they want to keep the narrative, like we're immigrant narrative too, because they know a lot of other people in this land are, so they want to put us in that category too. You know,
correct, the watchman.
And then the thing is too, they're bringing a lot of these people over here. We got to look at it like this too for this new 2023 census. So these censuses too. That's another reason why they're bringing a lot of these people over here. Just
they cut the census off after 7. Wait a minute, there was a big chunk of the census that they said burned. Remember that? It was like a whole big place where all the census was kept.
Yep.
It was anything before was why does 1790 ring a bell to me? It was 1790. It was a time period where they said they didn't have it, so they had to restart it up again. Okay. They had to restart it up. Man, I tell you what, they
I think that's when they first started taking the census, right? In 1790.
Yeah.
That was like the first documented one.
But there was a time frame in between the original census and between the time that they redid it, where they claimed that there was a fire. You know, they good with fires. And by they, I mean the Elites. They're good with fires.
Demolition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The name still is here. It says
either flooding, flooding or fire.
Flooding fires, yeah. And then rebuilding,
yeah.
Or make you rebuild them up. But yeah, that 1790 census, right? I think that was they introduced the Naturalization Act right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. But that was Homeboy that did that naturalization, wasn't it, Frank? What's his name?
Walter Plecker?
Walter Plecker?
Plecker. That was Plecker.
Plecker.
Yeah, Walter Plecker. In where was it? Was it North Carolina?
Virginia? No.
Virginia. It was Virginia. It was Virginia. It's Virginia. Isn't that where they first show, was it Virginia or Massachusetts, where they show the first slaves that arrived were some black women? They were African women, some odd. I think it was like 30 and some odd women, but they were
20 and some odd, and guess what it was called?
20 and some odd.
20 and some odd Negro.
That's right. That's right. 20 and some odd
Negro.
That's just like kind of falsified because I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. They mixed that up with the and did that on purpose with the Arab slave trade. The Arab slave trade was women and not men. See, you see how these people, and they're still going on to this day. They still do.
Those slaves that I was talking about came in through Virginia. That's literally on the manifest in the Library of Congress. That is a real manifest that was attached to a ship. There was only 20 and some odd Negras, women, female, and they also said that some were so aged that they wouldn't be any good to do anything.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, even if there were numbers or something like that, it's not gonna be like how they're saying. And they really, a lot of that stuff is fabricated. But how come they never talk about that? I mean, because that's I'm not African, because I don't got no family members that are African in my family, so I'm not gonna tie myself to that. But how come the Africans and then why is nobody ever talk about they're quick to talk about the Atlantic slave trade, but why is nobody talking about the Arab slave trade that's still going on to this day? That's still going on right now as we speak. The news, nobody talks about that. None of these Pan-Africans, how do you say it? Pan-Africanists? Is that how they say it? Yeah,
the Pan-Africanists, all of those cats. And then what about the fact that here's the thing. I think that and the question will now have this now, because now that they've done this. Had I asked this 12 or 13 years ago, the question would have been a moment. My question is, how can you lose that many of your people and you not want to go back and get them? Here's the deal. That wasn't they were plucking them out of a place called Hebrew land. The ones that they were able to pluck and bring, some of them, not a whole bunch of them. But the land is called Hebrew land, Hebrew land. They were snatching them from that area in the southwestern tip of Africa. Was that Ghana? What is that over in there? I know Nigeria is above it. But my point is this. The people that are here and the people that are arguing over why we, have one name one year and another name another year is because we're the only people that I've ever seen that's not necessarily know who they are, unless of course you were told who you are. What is it about the truth that makes people angry? The truth actually can cause a lot of divisiveness if somebody doesn't have a strong enough willpower to say, okay, I don't care what you say, but we're not leaving this room until we get to the bottom of it. I don't care what you say. We're not leaving this conversation until we together corporately remember that we don't have a problem with each other, but that there's somebody else who's trying to keep this from us. There's a reason why they don't want us to be around each other. We collectively have to look this up, and we collectively have to ask the questions. And after we're done looking, if we, the collective, have decided that some of this stuff we can throw away and the other piece we can keep, and we can sew it and bring this tapestry of truth together, then what is the problem with asking the questions? What's the problem? My mama never told me about nobody from Africa. My mama only told me about her grandmama and them and all of them that could sit on their hair, that had long braids and that could sit on their hair. If I showed you pictures of me when I was a kid, my hair was to my mid-waist. I mean, there are so many questions that cannot be answered. Who told us to take the curl pattern out of our hair? Who told us that we needed to use relaxer? Where did that idea come from? Who told us that we had bad hair? Why is it that right now, people are now making money off of our culture telling us that we have, see this pattern, that pattern, this pattern. When did you ever care enough to tell us about our hair's curl pattern? And you were the one telling us that we needed to straighten it so that by straightening it, we would thereby rub ourselves out, because now we got lawsuits about relaxers. Who told you your hair was bad? Who told you that my hair was bad? Why didn't I know that my hair was just naturally curly? Who told? How come the people's hair that you brought over here don't look like ours when they get wet with grease and water? Who told you that?
You notice
he had a big nose and big lips.
Who told you that?
Huh?
I got a good question. Because I've been seeing it more and more. You know what? And this ain't a thing of who told you that, this more so, but this is more of a thing like, you know, something I've been out and stuff. Another thing I've been meant because I'm a Richmond earlier, I've been seeing a lot of tattoo parlors. Now, you know, back when I was coming up, you saw people with bikers, military, so forth, and tattoos. Now it's everybody. It's everybody. I mean, you got women with, I see women the other day, two of them, I was telling Frank about, so two of them stood the other day, but they got tattoos on the back of their neck right here. One of them right there. One of them right there. I'm like, are we going into some form of anesthesia or something? Like, I mean, do we just like, you know, freaking ourselves or something like that? I mean, it's kind of crazy. But nevertheless, what I'm saying is, I know one woman with tattoos on one of them under her eye, you know, like, we're just getting to be more like a clown show. And like you said, with the hair and stuff, you know, they like what they call it, that horse hair, whatever the hair they put in their head or whatever.
Zeb Johnson.
But, you know, it looks like we starting to become like a reality TV show. And Sexy Red was a prime example of what you brought up earlier. Same thing. She has influenced all those types. She even the video she put a tattoo on her butt. So point that out there. But nevertheless.
But that's resemblance of the side effect of what she just, Ms. Lockhart just asked the question and what she went through. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
You know what I'm saying? These are the side effects. You don't like what you look like, so guess what? Let me alter it with what? Accessories or tattoos or, you know, piercings or.
But when you alter, don't try to be a virtual reality character, because you look like.
But you can't help that. Let me speak from a woman's perspective, right? So the deal is the reason why we can change so much is because we've not had any pinned down identity. You don't see Chinese women changing like we do. You don't see women, and then the only thing you got to go to is the captor. That's all you got to go to, or you can go to the totally other end of the spectrum and go in a different direction. What I was making the point about the Arabs earlier was that they were the ones that were giving up the other people. They wasn't giving up their own people. If the Africans wanted us so bad and we was really from them, don't you think somebody would have got something and came back and got us, especially now? I mean, they still asking for their artifacts now. They asking for the very Africans that we are talking about over there on that continent. They are asking for their artifacts back. Can we get our stuff back, please? Y'all came through our places, our villages, and you pillaged them. Now you got it sitting up in Smithsonian's and other places and other different museums all throughout Europe. And you guys got our stuff. Can we get our daddy's records back, in the words of Blind Mellow Jelly from Fred Sanford's day? Can we get our stuff back? They want their stuff back. So do you think that if they were so desperate to get their artifacts back, that they will go get their brothers and their sisters and their cousins back? But now you got America saying, hey, United States saying, hey, let these people just come on and be back there with you guys. Let's let them go back. I mean, they didn't go with the whole Monrovia thing. They didn't go with that whole guy. They didn't go with that. They didn't go with the Madison. They didn't go with any of that. They didn't go with any of the things that would lead them to have that one little country that we were trying to give them. So we'll just let them come on back. Then you got these dodo birds and droves going down there thinking that it's going to be a better thing in the very same countries that people were fighting and fighting for the corruption to end. You got the very same people, us, watching it on the news here, going over there like it's going to be a great place. You get over there and you find out, yeah, they can seize your money and ain't nobody going to say nothing. You get over there and you find out, yeah, they can just kick your door in and come on in, bang, bang one and bang, bang the other in the bed, take the kids and move them on, go ahead and traffic them right quick, and nobody's going to say anything. Well, you've given up your identity. Did anybody even know that that's going on? You got a bevy of black folks running over there to other parts of the world, claiming it as a homeland that they don't know. At best, it's just a vacation spot, dude. This is just someplace that's different. You like it. The only reason why you really like it is because you can eat the fish free of some pesticides. You can eat the fish that come up fresh and they're pretty and you can see it. And you can eat the fruit because you don't have to deal with all of the stuff that they put on it for the most part. Right? So that's why you're enamored of it. You're loving this place. They're loving it, you guys, because it's not like what they're used to. And that's the same thing that happens when you go on a vacation. You go on a vacation and you love it. Why? Because it ain't like what you're used to. But they don't realize that if it was really true that you belong to those people, just like they're going around asking for their artifacts, a big bulging belly artifact with their headdress on and all this other stuff, they're telling you, we want our stuff. Give us our stuff. Don't you think that if you was an Amistad brother, they'd be looking for you? Give us free and our people too. Give us our people. But ain't nobody ever came to claim you. Ain't nobody ever came to claim you. And therefore you run around here with that hair in your head that I've been a victim of as well, because we don't know who we are. This only time you're going to see people running around being imposters is because they do not know who they are. And they so desperately want to be somebody. And so they grasp onto whatever their captors say.
Damn,
in the 70s and in the 60s, when they had conch and relaxer, we were dragging that stuff out because somebody told us that our thick, naturally curly hair was a problem. And then they started having all of these commercials. And now you look at the commercial, they're literally suing people right now because women lost their uterus, lost their ovaries, died of breast cancer because it had metastasized from being cervical cancer because of these very same chemicals that was in that product. When I went to beauty school, they told us we had to use gloves whenever we dealt with a chemical like a relaxer. Because a relaxer is the most unbelievable, complex batch of chemicals that you could ever see. You have so many things in a relaxer that you have no idea. It literally goes past the cuticle into the cortex, blows it wide open, and straightens up that natural curl, straightens it up. Conversely, you can have you can have some thioglycolate chemicals that'll make the hair curly. And then we had the Jerry curl that did the same thing for us. That you have Lilt that did for others. So
who is Jerry?
Who is Jerry curl?
Jerry? Who is Jerry?
Jerry is thioglycolate. Jerry is thioglycolate. It's a cold wave chemical. It's a cold wave chemical, and it can curl. It can go right into the cuticle, and it can make it wavier, but it'll soften. Here's the deal. It softens your natural curl pattern. That's what Jerry did. Jerry went in and softened that curl pattern, and it made it where it was billowy instead of being so coiled. And now you got people that are actually paying to tell you what kind of curl pattern you got. So now it's money in it. You see that in the 70s, they wanted you to straighten and darn near kill yourself. So a lot of those folks have died off, my mother included. My mother was a cosmetologist as well. My birth mom. Sure. And they were using those chemicals, inhaling those chemicals and doing all kind of stuff, putting it on their hair, putting it in their body. And a lot of us are not here right now because somebody told us that our hair was kinky. Somebody told us, ironically, those same people that told us that our hair was kinky and that we needed to straighten it out was the same people that was
the attraction factor
in Louisiana telling the women, well, I don't like the elaborate braids that you're using. I don't like the elaborate buns that you're using. And you guys go ahead and cover your head up. Hell, we was like, no problem. Cool. You want us to cover it up? Watch this. And we made the most elaborate wraps for the top of our head. And they said, okay, well, no, you can't wear those either. So that was the same spirit that went on to tell you that your hair was not beautiful, that you were not nice, that you were not pretty, that your hair did not look good. And that is the reason why you see so many of us running around with this horsehair and that horsehair. And now we got this thing where we're using the glue on the wigs. I like a nice wig, just like anybody else, any other woman. We like a nice, what we call them, our little girlfriends on weekends. Put a little girlfriend on. You get a Betty and a Sally and a Sue or whatever. But now they got the glue, and the glue is tearing all your edges out.
Wig baby.
Yo, wait up.
Wig baby.
But look. The thing is,
go ahead, Frank.
No, but the thing is, look, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It's like, you know, these companies already make a lot of money off females' insecurities as it is. These so-called beauty companies and all these, Revlon and L'Oreal, these bullshit makeup companies. Oh, excuse my BS makeup companies, right? But so that's already, and no matter what race of women. But this, certain with our women, man, it's just like you're right. They've been telling us, and conditioning us about our hair for years, and it got to the point where we even was, telling ourselves that by, calling the hair good hair or bad hair. You know what I'm saying? We call our own hair good hair or bad hair, which is a problem. So that lets us know our insecurities about ourselves and about our people. You see what I'm saying? And for, the women handing that down to their daughters by saying that to their daughters. Oh, you got good hair or bad hair. And then they, you know what I'm saying? Like, just going down like in a cycle, like, you see what I'm saying? But look at now, it's to TV now. Now it's this hip hop now, this fake hip hop. That's what's indoctrinating these females, not even just to be promiscuous, but to look a certain way, to have a certain fake fashion, a certain insecure. I mean, it really seems like an insecure fashion because you're wearing.
She got long weave to touch her butt.
you wearing a wig for one. You're wearing the eyelashes, looking like Snuffleupagus, right? You know what I'm saying? You just everything is fake about you. But you're talking about, I want a real dude. I want a real man. I want a real in. You know what I'm saying? But everything is fake about you. How do you want a real dude when everything is plastic about you? It's just it's creating further delusion. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
Miss Lockhart.
What?
This is interesting. Frank made a good point.
Okay.
We gotta ask the woman. Maybe I wish I could get you that, Richard. You could talk to some of these women.
No, because it's really not. It's really
it's
what
not.
it is.
It's not.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
But it's interesting.
I love you, sis.
Don't you think this is how can I put it? They don't understand on the optics. They might think they being I'm dolled up, right? But a doll is a toy, something you play around with, right?
Okay.
That's where doll is. Doll is a toy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think they understand this is not, the guy is not, quote unquote, as attracted to it as they think.
What you mean? The dude's not attracted to the chick that looked like the doll?
No.
You know why I say that's a bunch of malarkey?
No. I'm saying that they want the real thing. Ain't nothing like the real thing.
Okay, but let me ask you this. What is real?
Uh-oh.
What is real?
What is real?
Comes with the uppercut.
We need to park the car at real for a second, because when you're talking about what's real, you got a lot of this little lip color that I have is not real. If I take that off, okay, so fine. So I take it off. But y'all can't handle the truth. Y'all can't handle the truth. Y'all can't handle the truth because you, just like the black woman, has been indoctrinated from the society as what beauty is. And if you saw the woman of your dreams without no makeup, you would not know she was of your dreams, because society has told you what she's supposed to look like. And if she come past you and she don't have near bit of nothing cinching her waist, nothing holding up the socks. These are called socks. Nothing holding up the socks. Okay? Nothing holding the socks up. All right? She ain't got nothing cinching that waist in. She has no foundations tucking in the fupa. All right? The fupa's out there. Right? She ain't got none of that. She ain't got nothing doing nothing with this. She got a little afro at best. She got a little afro at best. She ain't got nothing. She ain't got nothing here. I don't have nothing on today, but she ain't got nothing here. She ain't got nothing. And she's just a natural born woman. Okay? You would not even know that is the woman that's supposed to be assigned to you. You would not even know that that's the woman that was supposed to be assigned to you because you're looking for what you think you want. She got to be like this. She got to have this. Her hair got to be this color. She got to look like that. She got to be soft-spoken. She got to be quiet. That's not in our DNA to be that quiet, by the way. Just so you know. We're not those women. That's not us. You'll find some that are very, submissive and very sweet. And if she gets the real type of man see, that's another thing a lot of guys don't understand, is that when you're a certain type of man, when you walk in the room, you command an automatic bow. Certain type of cat that's on his, I got two of my brothers is them dudes. One of my brothers, Ronnie, is in here. That's one of them dudes. One of my other brothers, Lee, that's another dude. Kenny, that's another dude. All three of my brothers, that's them dudes. They are that man. Oh,
so would you say you attract what you are?
Here's what I'm saying. My brothers are the type of dudes that are about what they say they're about. They are about it. They do it. They live it. They're not looking for a woman to come in and add to them. They're not looking for no woman. They are who they are. They stand in I amness. When the cats walk in the room, they are an I amness. They are that dude. But the problem is right now is that you've got this nice psyop of identity theft and identity mixture that is in our community right now that's running rampant, that's mixing everything up. Meanwhile, you got cats like the Hispanics, you got cats like Islam and a lot of other groups of people who are coming in doing what they think, and we still looking up here arguing about man versus woman, and you got these cats that's got their wives at the house and they're making the same amount of money as you making. I'm telling you right now, there are people out there. Oh, they got 3 people that living in the same house and all the men. Well, then you 3 Negroes need to get along.
Talk about it.
If you just got through seeing what they doing, well, they got 3 fathers living in the same house with them. That's true, they do. So why don't you do what they do? Mirror what they do, because you know what? Believe it or not, that's what you used to do years ago. You used to do that years ago. You used to have mama and daddy, and then you had grandmama and granddaddy, and you had great grandmama and great granddaddy, and all them people used to stay in one house. And then when they broke off, you got one set over here on this part of the land, one set on this part of the land, one set on this part of the land, because that's who we are. But because we're out of alignment, and because we don't have the men being in their position, and because we got the women thinking that they're better than the men, and the men thinking that they're better than the women, and you got the kids out of order, we out of order. And they don't have to worry about the 13%, because in a second, there ain't going to be no 13%.
There you go.
For all the triskaidekaphobians out there.
No, you brought a good point, though. See,
it might be more like 2.
So they broke us down, right? You see what I'm saying? And they did the thing with the welfare thing with the woman, the incentive to not have the man with the mainly with our people, right? And they did that, and then they hit the women with the feminism. You see what I'm saying? So they basically, and then so I say like the 90s, early 2000s, maybe even like during like the 90s, 80s, late 80s, they start getting women these career jobs. So it's basically, you see what I'm saying? It was basically to where had the women to where they're thinking, oh, I don't need a man. You see, now I'm independent. You see what I'm saying? So it's a number of things that went with that. So basically, it was a separation of families. And then, my bad, the Vietnam War. A lot of us, our elders went to war in the 60s, 70s. You see what I'm saying? That separated the family. You see what I'm saying? A lot of the men had to work, go to other states to work. I mean, so it's like they basically had an agenda to separate our families from the jump.
But wait a minute. We had people leaving to go to different states way back. You had people leaving. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I've got to hold us accountable for what we're doing wrong. And I'm not about to let none of this stuff go based on the fact that, one president decided, okay, because a woman's husband died in the military, they're going to give her some food stamps and all this other stuff. All of those things were created to do exactly what's going on right now in America. And that is divide up everybody. It's not just a black thing. It's not just a black thing. You got crazy baby mamas that's white. You got
Talk about
crazy.
it.
You got crazy baby mamas that's black. But listen, we all think that we the only that we own the market on crazy baby mama and crazy daddy, baby daddy baby, whatever. Okay, we think we're the only ones that have that market. You could, if you sit down and talk to some white guys and really just enlighten yourself, you will find out that that is a target to divide people, to divide the man from the woman. Once you remove the strong man from the house, you can take over the house. It didn't say the black strong man. And my only point of bringing that up is that when you really sit down and start to talk to people, you will find that there's a lot of crazy baby mamas that are white.
Oh, for sure. But I was just saying that all these things factor in to, you know what I'm saying, the narrative.
It factors into the United States. Into the United States.
The agenda, what they did.
You're all suffering the disease of divide and conquer and capitalism. People say they want capitalism, but this is what you get from capitalism. But
I don't find anything wrong with it. I don't find anything wrong with capitalism.
Well, that's what it does. I don't have
a problem.
Think about it.
I don't have a problem with capitalism. I don't have.
It divides you though.
But it's got to divide you because you know what? Life is a divide. When we're running, wait a minute, Shari, we got to look at Shari Richardson. Did she not divide some people? Did she not divide herself from some folks to win? Division and divisiveness has its place when it's used correctly.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah.
So those are all flaws that can be manipulated. You know what I'm saying? Those are all human flaws, errors that can be manipulated. You know what I'm saying? And capitalized on.
Can we turn it around? Those are all strengths that can be manipulated and capitalized on. You know why I say it that way? Because you can take that same exact strength and turn that thing around and say, okay, wait a minute. I know there's nothing. First off, I'm an entrepreneur. Ain't nothing fair. Somebody going to get the contract that I didn't get. Somebody has gotten contracts that I didn't get. Somebody's bid a little lower than I bid. Somebody had a little bit more to offer from their company than my company did. So all I had to do was go back and level up and do it better. Capitalism is not a bad thing. The problem with capitalism is you got some of the folks that shouldn't have that much having more because they're taking it. It's not about earning nothing. Here's where I stand when it comes to earning. I believe that if you do what you're supposed to do and the playing field is level and it's right, then you should earn what you're supposed to earn. If you're not earning what you're supposed to earn because somebody is putting their hands in the pot preventing you from doing it, well, that's another problem. And it has another name. It's an ism of sorts. Not that it's a racism. Because I believe that the term racism was created for almost 100 and some odd years. That term was created to get this, and listen to me carefully, to neutralize you about what's going to come. The term racism has nothing to do with you and me. It has everything to do with us and what will be created, what has been created, is being created, which is a totally different race class that is walking among you right here today. Believe it or not, there are others that are here. Believe it or not. But it was not created because of you and me. It was created so that they could use it over the time and over the years and get you so used to saying racism. They even soft palated you. They gave you a soft palate with Elon Musk when they said, now that's a real African American.
The core word is race.
Huh?
And what is I say the core word is a race. So what is a race? It's a competition, is it not?
Well, it can be that may be so, but when we're using it in the context in which they created it to function, we know that the racism piece that they're talking about is to say that I am different, and because of the melanin in my skin, I deserve pity. CRT, right? I deserve pity. And really, all CRT is doing is reversing the curse and going right back to where everybody was. That's taking you right back to one place. And that's everybody having on shackles. And didn't homeboy say, and that's what they're going to do to y'all again? They're going to put you all back in chains. Remember when Biden said that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I do believe that, like I said, whether we say it was strengths, flaws, whatever, they already existed. They just got exploited to the next level. That's what happened. They got exploited because one group of people all getting along prior to nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, there were divides always in history. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Daryl.
You know, these people want this, these people don't this, or that person this person got too much. You know what I'm saying? So it was manipulated and centralized. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. It was manipulated and centralized and weaponized. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, you know.
Okay.
Didn't Charles Darwin or didn't that cat
Darwin?
or one of them
Eugenics?
one of them dudes made that term up, a race, or was it
It was a general
No,
in the
he didn't make it
army.
up.
It was a
They
general in the
exploited.
army.
That's what I'm saying. They exploited that. That's what I'm saying.
It was a general in the army. He did it.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't. But see, that's the whole thing. I mean, honestly, man, anytime anything is made up, man, a lot of these terms and stuff like that, man, elite at least has something to do with it, man. And it's definitely a agenda behind it. You see what I'm saying? But I just think that they even put the slavery narrative thing too, just to try to make us look subservient to other groups, and for them to try to really hide our true history in this country. You see what I'm saying? And that's the real reason why they put that, because I think the slavery thing was just people working for people, man, and them getting
I agree.
underpaid. You know what I mean? While somebody else gets rich and somebody else gets wealthy, they stay stagnant and they don't really receive. They just stay where they're are the whole time. You see what I'm saying? Just like certain people getting certain benefits, you just stay where you at the whole time. Same thing. You see what I'm saying? It's just like the i.e. Damn near poor, i.e. poor, not even middle class. And that's what this country is going to, where it ain't gonna be no middle class no more. It's just gonna be elite and it's gonna be straight poor. You see what I'm saying? I mean, this is all my bad. I meant to say earlier, Rex 84 and King Alfred plan type stuff. You see what I'm saying? They blew up the Georgia Guidestone for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Because that was the paper trail to the type of stuff we talk about now, the population control thing, the control, and I mean, all this stuff is by design, man. It's just, even with those documents, Shaq on with Copper Empress had on the show yesterday and today. It's like what the lady was talking, the type of stuff the lady was talking about, the type of stuff that they doing. You see what I'm saying? I mean, it ain't it's not genetically modified things. You know what I'm saying? Monsanto controlling the food.
What?
BlackRock controlling, you know what I mean?
This was written January 6, 2014. I had a live with this about a year or two ago, and I frequently go back to it so that it will illuminate to some and open up the eyes of others as to where the term first came from. This gentleman that's sitting high on this horse, his name was Richard Henry Pratt. He was the first person the Oxford English Dictionary records using the word racism in a speech decrying it, but his own legacy on race is checkered. Now, this comes from the Library of Congress, by the way. So for those who follow my channel, you already know that we've talked about this, but let me just read this to tie into what we're talking about. The Oxford English Dictionary's first recorded utterance of the word racism was by a man named Richard Henry Pratt in 1902. Pratt was railing against the evils of racial segregation. Quote, segregating any class or race of people apart from the rest of the people kills the progress of the segregated people or makes their growth very slow. Association of races and classes is necessary to destroy racism and classism. Now, it goes on to say that although Pratt might have been the first person to invite the race against racism, it is deleterious. It's deleterious however you say that, effects by name, he is much better remembered for a very different coinage. And that was, please listen to this. His coinage was kill the Indian and save the man. He is much better remembered for the very different coinage. Quote, kill the Indian, save the man. So where are we dealing with the term racism coming from? We here in America are dealing with racism as it relates to those that look like Shaq, BJ, Frank, and myself. Okay? All right? All right, now let's finish. Let's get this done here. Let's go down a little bit more. Here's another quote. A great general has said that the only good Indian is a dead one, Pratt said. In a sense, it continues, I agree with the sentiment, but only in this, that all the Indian there is in the race should be dead. Kill the Indian in him and save the man. Do you understand what that is? Kill the Indian in him.
Mm-hmm.
Kill the Indian in him. Take the person that he is, make her confused, make him confused, make him think that he needs straight hair. Because them Indians that they talking about, they did not have straight hair. Make them have straight hair. Make them do all the other stuff. Make them look like everybody else. Make them think there's something wrong with the way that they look. Kill the Indian in him. Kill who he is. Kill his culture. Stomp it underfoot. Kunta. Even though that was a fake story. Kunta Kinte. That was fake. But kill the Kunta. Keep the Toby. Story goes on to say, we're still living with the after effects of what Pratt thought and did. His story serves as a useful parable for why discussions of racism remain so deeply contentious even now. But let's back up a bit, it says. Beginning in the 1880s, a group of well-heeled white men would travel to upstate New York each year to attend the Lake Mohonk Conference of the Friend of the Indian. Yeah, we're your friends. Their primary focus was a solution to the Indian problem. The 1880s, please focus on the dates and hear me with your real ears. In the 1880s, the Indian was such a problem for the people who wasn't from these parts that they would travel to upstate New York to attend the Lake Mohonk Conference of the Friend of the Indian. Because the only way we're going to get them and take everything else that belongs to them is if we be their friend. Smile in their face. All the time, we want to take your place, the backstabbers. Their primary focus was a solution to the Indian problem. The need for the governance or for the government to deal with the Native American groups living in lands that had been forcibly seized from them. They still there. The Plains Wars had disseminated the Native American population, but they were coming to an end. There was a general feeling among these men and others in the United States, leaders, that the remaining Native Americans would be wiped out within a generation or two, destroyed by disease and starvation. Lake Mohonk attendees wanted to stop that from happening, and they pressed lawmakers to change the government's policy towards the Indians. Pratt in particular was a staunch advocate of folding Native Americans into white life, folding them. How many people here bake? How many people here have ever baked? And what do you do when you're baking? You take something and you fold it in. You take the actual batter and you will fold in lemon, or you will fold in the shavings of the orange peeling. You'll fold that in and mix it together. You keep going. You keep going. You keep folding it in until it all becomes one. Please understand that we are talking about the same people. These people are not no different people. This was the 1880s. So you mean 1980? 1880, 1980. How many years is it between 1880 and 1980, folks? Please tell me quickly. Quick, somebody fast. Between 1880 and 1980, how many years is that? Hello? Anybody?
Say what again? Say it again.
How many years is
110.
between 1880 and 1980 is how many years difference?
Is that like 110, right?
1880.
Because 1880 and 1980 is 100, and 90, that's 10, 110, right?
1880 and 1980 is 100 years, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. You mean to tell me they had an Indian problem 100 years from 1980?
Mm-hmm.
Was it an Indian problem? And when did they go and pick up all of those so-called Africans and bring them here? Between what year? What year was it? 15 who? Huh?
You said 15. Well, I don't know.
15 to 18 what? So you mean to tell me that you had all of that going on? I submit these are those people. I submit these are those people. I ain't gonna show y'all my mama no more because my mama looked just like them. The Lake Mohonk attendees wanted to stop that from happening, the disease and the starvation. But here's the funny thing. How can you have disease and starvation in a place that was yours all along and you knew how to make enough food to eat? How were you guys able to have corn? How were you guys able to eat? How were you able to live? And now these people come on the scene. Now, in particular, was a staunch advocate of folding Native Americans into white life, assimilation through education. But above that, the Native Americans would be wiped out within a generation or two, destroyed by disease and starvation. Who did that?
Really?
Y'all don't know how.
Then they coined assimilation annihilation.
Mm.
When they coined that too, that was
Okay.
one of the
Assimilation through education. He persuaded Congress to let him test out his ideas, and they gave him an abandoned military post in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, to set up a boarding school for Native children. He was able to convince many Native Americans, including some tribal leaders, to send their children far away from home and leave them in his charge. They had reasons to be skeptical of Pratt, given the dubious history of the white promises to Indians. These chiefs were smart men, said Grace Chandelier, the professor of Native American Studies in Northern Michigan University. Quote, they saw the handwriting on the wall and they knew their children were going to need to be educated in the ways of the dominant culture, or they weren't going to survive. The ways of the dominant culture. And just to make a joke and to rub your nose in it, alongside these pictures that once I looked at some of these that they have in their whole catalog, the hands look totally different than some of the heads and the faces. And some of the faces look exactly like the other face. When I looked through all of these, they had different hands on them. They had faces that were cut and paste that were done really poorly. Just to make it worse, what did they have right here before this cable and internet $40 a month picture came up? Y'all don't remember. It's okay. What you guys got to start doing is you got to start looking at the signs and looking at the stuff that they rub in your face and rub in your nose. Rub your nose in all the time. As if you were a disobedient dog that did something in the house. They rub your nose in it. It says, for many natives, Chandelier said, this wrenching decision came down to a grim arithmetic. Carlisle Indians Industry School would become a model for dozens of other unaffiliated boarding schools for Indian children. Why they dealing with the Indian children in 1880?
Because of indoctrination, man. They want to indoctrinate them. Now, when you say native, are they talking about the Mongoloids, or are they actually talking about?
They are talking about the Aborigines because he's saying that they were a problem.
Right. Okay.
He's claiming that they were a problem. Okay, so he's the one who came up with the word racism, right? So if he's the one that came up with the word racism, and we already know that there's human race, okay? There's the human race, All right. And we pretty much figured out that if one way lays down with the other, even though that may not be the ideal thing, we all know that all things being equal, the parts will create a baby. We know that.
Correct.
I still submit that the reason why the term racism is so harped on and so harped on and so harped on for the last 100 years is because the powers that be, the elites, have been here for a long time. And they already know what's going on. The fake, sky daddy in the sky thing that's about to happen, where everybody gonna be thinking that we got to be protected from something up in the sky. That whole entire thing is going to be done, and whatever comes out of that, like every other show they've ever given us to tell us who they are, we're going to have to get along with a different race. Whether you consider AI the race, whether you consider Sophia the race, Sophia being the first robot citizen of the world who was given
we got a robot CEO now,
who was given a citizenship in where is it, Saudi Arabia, and we do have one now. Thank you for that story you sent. Saudi Arabia. She was she may. She may.
They got teachers at Harvard.
Useless knowledge said CRT doesn't teach that. CRT doesn't teach that. Go ahead, you guys.
I'm getting ready for the robot age.
And that may just be the other race, is my point. You see?
Right. That's a good one, too. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a real good point. You know,
that's a good setup.
I mean, see, a lot of futuristic movies talk about this type of stuff too, though. You know, even iRobot, like movies like that. You know, kind of talk about, you know,
we can run all the movies down. I mean, you know, Total Recall, Matrix, Star Trek, Star Wars, Red Planet, Avatar, Men in Black, Independence Day. What's the one with the one
Fifth Element?
What's the Fifth Element? What's the one with the Keanu Reeves? He was like a some type of light alien being or something. What they call it? You know what I'm talking about?
No, you're not talking about Bill and Ted, no.
No, he was like he was like an alien being or something. I think it was Keanu Reeves. There's so many of them that they, you know, giving us and putting it in your psyche that, hey, you know what I'm saying?
Right. It's like that. I think it's a lot of like predictive program type, you know. Put that out in the movies and stuff like that. Get you familiar, get you kind of comfortable with it. Then, you know, they put it on you, you know. And I mean, just like that movie Creator, the AI, you know, even if those weren't real actual robots, you know what I'm saying? If those were just people in uniforms, I mean, costumes, whatever.
iRobot?
Right, that. But still, though, you see what I'm saying? It's just the fact that they just want, they're getting you, your mind ready for it. You see what I'm saying? They're getting you prepared for it. The actual, you know, the fact that when we actually, if we really do get robots like that, they're getting you ready for it, man. I mean, I mean, just like Boys in the Hood, man, they was talking about gentrification in that movie, man. There you go. Look at LA now. LA got gentrified crazy, and I was telling people before they built that SoFi Stadium, dude, they're going to be displacing a lot of people out of Inglewood, man, that look like me and you. But see, it's funny because we act like we don't even be tripping when it's us involved in something like something happening to us or something in a negative way. We just like, oh well, type stuff, but we expect other groups to be like, oh, sympathetic towards it, which is weird. And if they're not sympathetic, then we're going to say the racist, which is, I think is weird. I don't know. That doesn't make no sense to me. It's just like, you know, we got to do better for ourselves and our people. You see what I'm saying? And but yeah, when I'm talking about the predictive program, he was talking about gentrification in that movie. You see what I'm saying? And look at what's happening. You see what I'm saying? And you know, all these movies, like I say, you know, my famous saying, they tell the truth in the movies and they tell you the BS on the news. All the lies on the news, man. You know.
Yeah, now I do have to say we have to get back to loving, liking, wanting, needing, and appreciating one another. This is what the universe told me to say. You know what I'm saying? Speak it into the ethers. You know what I mean?
What you see on the screen is a movie called Bright.
Oh yeah.
It came out in 2017, and it was normalizing aliens living in the hood amongst you. Hence, if you don't like them, you're racist.
I think it's two sides to that. Because they are aliens. We just talked about the one was coming here, the Europeans, and bringing all the other ones on the land, man. Technically, there are aliens coming into your neighborhood. That's one version of an alien. And that's in the that's documented. That's legal document what an alien is.
And yet they changed the term for them. Remember, they changed them to the name of immigrant.
Ooh, I was just about to say there's two type of aliens. Yep, that's true, man. The elite ones though. To see, and the thing is, but now they're not even calling them that. Now we switching it up. We can change it up again. You know what I'm saying? Now they call migrants.
How you spell alien?
A-L-I-E-N.
A who?
A-L-I-E-N.
Well, you notice they call them migrants now. Though? They're calling them something different. They're not calling them. You know, it's that no immigrant thing no more. It's migrants now. So I mean, the thing is, I just think that we got to be more on our humanity tip, man, because we're desensitized, man, so much. You know, everything dysfunctional is normal to us, and I think what's the social media and what's that social media is pushing it. You see what I'm saying? TikTok, Instagram, you know what I'm saying? All those are pushing these type of dysfunctional norms. You see what I'm saying? And it's just like, I don't know, man. It's crazy. You know, I think, but I don't know. It's like once you're past a certain age, you should already know better, in my opinion. But I guess a lot of people don't have a lot of people don't have a lot of integrity. A lot of people the maturity factor is not really up to par, you know. And it's just like I can't really say that because, and it seems like really a lot of social media stuff and a lot of the stuff that they display to us is really dumbing us down. Is it just me? You see what I'm saying? Look at the VMAs. Let's just talk about the VMAs the other day. That's just a trash, just a dumpster fire, right? So the thing is, but see, people off this panel is going to salute that. They're going to say, yeah, girl, Meg Thee Stallion and all these, you know what I'm saying, did this and that. And, they did their thing. And, they were so this empowering and this is liberation and feminine and this and making me feel this way and that way. And so, I mean, that right there alone, man, we just support dysfunction, man. We be listening to a lot of these studio gangster rappers, the studio gangster, I guess you call it hip hop. You see what I'm saying?
Ain't none of that hip hop.
Watered down. It's just rap. It's watered down. It's really
hip hop, right? Hip hop is what? It says higher infinite power healing our people, right?
Right.
Yeah. It's killing most of them.
Now we have changed to higher infinite poison.
Yeah.
Helping our people perish.
I mean, let's keep it real though. I mean,
I just came up with that.
I like that one. That was pretty good.
That was good. We seen how Suki Hana and all them was acting at the VMAs. We see how these people was acting. But see, the thing is that right there is to indoctrinate these little girls. That's just to push that type of, you know what I'm saying, foolishness on these kids. That's in this nation.
So you think if the men go on a strike, Frank, do you think we can change that around if the men go on the strike? What you think was Lockhart?
Man.
What if the men go on a strike in what regard?
Sex.
With husbands, you mean like husbands defrauding their
Husbands,
spouses?
men on all men, yeah, men, single men. That's out here trying to date. That's trying to get the thing on rocks off.
Well, I mean, I feel like, to be honest with you, if people are dealing with their lower chakras and that's how they function all day long and that's it, then those individuals are going to perish anyway, because you can't live dealing with just that lower chakra. You have to raise your vibration. If that's all it takes, well, gee, you're no problem at all. The guy's no problem at all. That's not a place where you want to live. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? That's not a place where you're supposed to live. You're not supposed to live in the lower chakra. That's not a safe space. That's a part of you, but you're not supposed to live in that lower region. I don't think that for a husband and a wife, I don't think it's wisdom for a woman or a man to defraud their spouse and withhold anything and expect for that person to be
okay, not
faithful.
the husband and wife, but the singlings that's out here.
See, you can't separate me from that, but you can't separate me from that mindset, because my mindset is that, once an adult male and an adult female decide that they want to couple, then according to my belief system, because see, it's all relative and it all matters. And my belief systems is that's your spouse. Now you can go around here and thought it all up.
Then we all.
That's my thing. You can go out here and thought it up. You know what I mean? You can go out here and just pass it around like it's a Pez dispenser. You know what I mean? You can pass it around like it's a doobie at Woodstock. That's you. That's what you want to do. But the fact remains, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I don't think that that's going to make anything change at all, because to be candid with you, when you're thinking about a woman's mindset, her mindset is for a man to be able to have the ability to take care and to protect. And if I know that I'm not going to be put out on the streets because the bills are paid, because I can still read and I can still do our kids' homework together with the light that's provided. If I know that my children are going to have fresh water that comes out of the tap, not by any crazy nefarious thing that's going on, but because the man that I've chosen is taking care of those things, then those are the things that give me comfort and security and safety. Now, because if it's his prowess that I'm looking at, those things can cease and end. Health deteriorates. So I think if a cat wants to keep it to himself, go ahead and keep it to yourself. But you've got so many other things to talk about, sir. There's so many, not you, sir, but I'm just saying the gentleman who elects to do that, to keep it to himself. The question is, how can you? You're a man. You're a microwave. Women are slow cookers. Where is this power coming from? I submit, if you're not getting it at home, sir, you're getting it somewhere.
But the thing is, and then the thing is with what we were saying. See, the thing is with these females and the female rappers and these dude rappers are projecting basically like a fake, like basically like projecting violence, and these female rappers are projecting, you see them, sexual prowess and even like really prostitution too. That's how I see it. With the type of lyrics that they be talking about, type of stuff they be saying, and really shoot, and hell, some of it be damn near. What's that called with the animals? What's that called? Bestiality. Some of it be,
well, all of that's
all types of weird stuff.
Yeah, and that's on the way. You found people, going across state lines and being, thrown in jail, and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, human trafficking, all that. I mean, all this type of stuff, all the type of stuff that they're pushing is displaying that. But see, I'm not feeling these female rappers, and I'm not feeling these male rappers and stuff like that. I'm against it. I'm not liking it. But you know what else too? I'm not just gonna call them out. I'm gonna call these people in the industry, these executives, and these people that are having them push that agenda. I'm calling them out too, because there was a conscious hip hop movement at one point, and they shut that down. They made that uncool. Like how on here is algorithms, it's kind of like same thing with that. They made it to where people ain't gonna check for that no more type of music no more. There's no R&B no more. There's no loving, positive, higher vibrational frequency music now. It's all lower vibrational frequency music now. You see what I'm saying? So they did a good job, man. But see, we got to start. I'm not, like I'm saying, just calling these people out, but I'm also calling these record execs out. You see what I'm saying?
But it won't matter because you're calling out vampires, wizards and stuff that aren't even real. They're not even they're not even a part of you. See, I think when I'm going to keep saying this stuff until people realize that what you are looking at is not what you think you're looking at. What you think look like you ain't you. And if you ain't seen enough stuff recently to let you know and to understand that there is a lot of stuff that ain't you, that you equating yourself with, those executives were put here to do what they're doing. You got to understand that because we are a spirit being, we are spirits. You are a spirit. You live in a body. You have a soul, and that soul is where your will resides. You feel me? You feel me? That's where your will reside. Hey, Flow State. Okay. Anthony. Love you, brother. All right. Your will resides there. So you are
no, sir.
So the deal is that you got to understand one major important thing, and that is that you're dealing with other entities that are not like you. You're dealing with other entities that are not like you. They are not. They wish to destroy you because they hate your creator. They hate your creator.
That's pretty deep.
They hate your creator. We're getting ready to roll out Flow State. I wish we had you up here earlier. I totally forgot. But yeah, we needed to have you up here. Well, I'm about to get up out of here because we're already 3 hours and 39 minutes in. So I just want to say, can you believe it? I can't believe it. We're 3 hours and 39 minutes in, 3 hours and 40 minutes in, and we're about to get off here. But next time we're going to have to come on in here and have you in and let's talk. Everybody sit down here together and just get on down. But I tell you one thing, I'm sorry. It's like, I never get. And that reminds me of what's his name? The guy that I like is Napoleon Dynamite. I never get any notifications. Dang, and then he runs off. But listen, you guys.
One more topic.
Y'all going ahead and let's take this thing. Let's wrap it up. Going ahead and hit it up. Go ahead, Frank. You go ahead and lead out.
All right, so I'm gonna bring up one more topic real quick, and then I'm after that. But okay, so yeah, so California passed a new something new, whatever, man, to where you could get like a child abuse stuff claim or whatever like that if you don't gender affirm your kid or something like that. You see what I'm saying? And I think that's crazy, man. It actually passed like 6 days ago, man. And they got like we were talking about earlier. You know what I'm saying? The lady that was the lady that that brought out this bill, whatever. She actually looks like us, man. So they be using us as pawns, man. They be pawning us up, man. We fall for it, and they be having us pushing the craziest agendas, man. It's like, why would you? You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna, possibly even charge a parent. You know what I'm saying? But definitely, called Child Protective Services and stuff like that on them. If you don't gender affirm, it's like these kids don't even see. It's an indoctrination thing, man. They're pushing these agendas and they're pushing these crazy ideas in these kids' minds, to where they're making these kids aware of these terms and these what's that called, pronouns and all this, right? And then you see what I'm saying, by the time and then the kids go to school and then they hear the type of terms and stuff like that from other kids, and then you you even got some of these schools teaching this to these kids, you see what I'm saying, in the curriculum. So it's really like it's like, man, that's crazy, man. It's just like, let these kids be kids, man. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Let them grow up, man. And
that's not going to happen because the agenda is to quickly remove us humans out of the way. You've already got Noah Harari that already said humans are hackable, and you already got his boss that said you're going to own nothing and be happy. But do you know what happy means in his age group? Happy means gay. So you're going to own nothing. Everybody going to be the same way. Hey, before we get off here, if whoever wanted to support my channel and to support the efforts, please hit me up on Cash App. Lockhart Perspective. That's LOCKHART Perspective on Cash App. Don't forget to put the $ before there. You can also hit me up if you choose to do that by PayPal. My mod has so illustriously added that into the chat here before we leave. And then also, if you'd like, you can just go right here on YouTube and hit that $sign right there beside the comment. No amount is too small. 50 cents, $1, it doesn't matter what it is. As long as you're helping out with the channel to keep everything flowing and rolling, I appreciate you 110%. There's something that those of us who may not have a penny to our name right now, and we've all been there, I think, at least once in our lives, and that is hit the like button. If you can't do anything but hit that like button or watch the ads as they roll mid-roll, you can do that, and that'll help the channel out as well. I appreciate each and every one of you guys in advance for doing that. I appreciate you for supporting the channel. It means so very much. Before we leave, I'm going to go ahead and open the floor to Chaq as well as King BJ. You guys decide amongst yourselves who wants to speak next, but I appreciate the fact that you added that input with that, Frank Nitty, dealing with what's going on with the kids. I don't think they care about our children, and I think that it's up to us to remember there was one important document that was being turned around, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow on Headlines with a Voice. We're going to be dealing with that, and that is none other than the United Nations. It was a whole thing about the children. And it was Clinton's wife who was trying to push it. Everybody pushed back and they didn't do it. Albright went ahead and signed it, but they did not ratify it. And I believe that even though it has no ratification, that it is still being exacted and pushed upon our people here in America right now today. Between Chaq and King BJ, you guys decide who's going to let it rip, and then let's come on. Let's go. Let's get out.
Go ahead and let it rip.
Go ahead.
Well, like I said, Dr. Felicia Lockhart, this has always been fun and, informative, and I'm glad that we was able to come on tonight. This is always good when you have a show because you bring up so many points and you have so many different perspectives. People should always donate to her because she makes a lot of sense. And thanks, Dawson, for coming on earlier to give us another woman in the room. She was great too. She was on fire. So, like I said, I had to get you on my show. We got to talk about a couple things too. There are interesting things going on. Everybody get ready for the next 3 months. It's going to be a whirlwind. But you can get me at King BJ Johnson over there on YouTube and Bernard11 on Instagram and Bernard John's Facebook. Otherwise, like I said, it's been fun. Go ahead, Shaq.
As I always say, as we come close to the end, that you only get this type of content on what? The Lockhart Perspective. The one and only Dr. Felicia Lockhart. I salute to you, and I salute to your chat, people that's in the chat that stayed on along with us, that interacted with us, man. I really, really appreciate it. I say salute to Frank, BJ, Ms. Dawson that came on and gave a great commentary. And hopefully, like I said, we can keep this up and we can grow this thing out, and bring more eyes on it and, pass the information on. One of my mottos is each one teach one, another one is all hands on deck. You know what I mean? Whatever you got to bring to the table, information-wise, inspiration-wise, affirmation, it's all needed. It's all wanted, So with that being said, I bid you great people do, man. You guys have a great night. You can check me on Instagram, Shaq_Edwards, or Facebook, Shaq Edwards. And I'll see you guys in these YouTube streets. Peace.
Do you have a YouTube as yet, Shaq Edwards?
Yes, ma'am, I do. It's called, I think it's Shaq Waller. But I'm not active on it. I keep saying I'm going to be active on it, but I be on everybody else's platform.
Well, we appreciate it. I mean, I'm glad
you guys are
all
man. I'm like a traveling man.
Traveling man.
I'm a nomad in the YouTube streets. I really need some help with you though.
Well,
whenever you get the time.
You're gonna have to. You got to. You got to come out. Listen, I want to appreciate right now Useless Knowledge for a wonderful donation. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you. I'm so happy to see you, and you're welcome to come here all the time. For everybody who's here, if you've not already hit that subscribe button, please hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you. Listen, you've been hanging out with us right now. If you've been here since the beginning for 3 hours and 48 minutes, this is home. You know this is home. You know you like them warm biscuits and butter, baby. Come on here. Come on here and hit that join button. Hit the subscribe button. Listen, I love each and every one of you. You guys remember what we always say here on this channel, that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High. You guys take care of yourselves. And then once you take care of yourself, you can reach around and take care of somebody else. And then I want you to make sure that you do me one big favor, and that is take care of my friend, because my friend is you. All right? You guys continue to be blessed. Mwah.
To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping